Coming to you from the award-winning Final Third Cigar and Whiskey Lounge, PCA's 2024 Best of Leaf Midwest Cigar Bar, Indiana's exclusive Aladino Cigar Lounge, it's the Final Third Podcast.
All right, welcome back to the Final Third Podcast, the number one podcast in the world for cigars and whiskey, as voted on by the people at this panel right here.
He's so humble.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
So I'm Rob.
I'm Will.
Yep.
I'm Mike, and we have a guest with us. Rob, who do we have with us today?
Yeah, so we have Jeremy Chesher today. Jeremy is the, are you the president?
Yeah.
Okay, the president of the Central Indiana Bourbon Society. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so he's been doing this club. We'll let him actually introduce the whole thing. He's been in this club for a little while. We want to talk a little bit about him. We've got some fun pours to taste. We've got some great cigars. We're gonna be smoking the. First of all, we're gonna be smoking the La Instructora. This little guy right here is a fantastic cigar. We've got plenty of these in stock, so we thought we'd smoke this and let you guys know about it.
Yeah, when I saw you pull this out, I was excited. I have not smoked this in, gosh, a long time.
It's been a minute for me,
It
too.
has, yeah.
And I thought it'd be a really good one with a nice dusty pour, which I'll let you introduce your dusty pour here in a minute.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
So why don't we get started on the cigar? We'll go ahead and get lit up, and then we'll have Will jump into the dusty pour, and then we'll start asking you some questions.
I love it, man. This is good. Yeah, I think the last time I had one of these, it was still a sample.
Yeah, you know.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
It's nice, too. That Rosado wrapper on this thing is a nice medium, maybe a little bit above medium strength level. But the thing that La Galera does a really nice job on is they have so many different tobaccos they use in the blend to create exactly what Hochi Blanco is trying to do. And this is a great representation of that for sure.
You know, I miss Brad. I hope he's doing well. Wherever Brad is out there, shout out to you, buddy.
Yeah,
We
shout
miss
out
you
Brad.
here.
And
you were an awesome rep.
I did see Brad actually commented on was it your birthday post or something
I think
you
so,
did?
Yeah.
So he's still out there. We just got to
Brad's
get his
doing
ass
okay.
back down here to hang out with us.
Yeah.
Because
Hopefully
Brad's a
he's doing
cigar
okay.
rep. That used to be the cigar rep for this brand, and he also likes to drink bourbon with us. So
Yeah.
So,
Very good cigar.
awesome. Let's talk about this Dusty. What do you think?
let's do it.
Let's do it. What did you bring for us, Will?
Didn't I tell you to clean your room?
That's Dusty.
Well, you know, I always loved Isaiah's little segment he did with Dusty's, and Isaiah's such a Dusty fan, and I just, always enjoy those. So you're taking a sip of history when you try these. So
Yeah.
I got this. This is a Old Forester bottled in bond, somewhere from the 1950 to 1955 range. And this came from Alan Ernst. If you don't know Alan is the godfather of Dusty's in this area.
Shout out to Alan.
Super nice guy. Very, very, a wealth of knowledge on Dusty's. And so thank you for this sample, Alan. And we're going to crack it here and try it out.
Rob's
Cool.
over there dying.
I'm over here dying already. It's my first cigar ever.
Remember my first cigar. We're pouring it up.
I'm going to pour these slow so I can get them even. Try not to
Yeah,
spill
take your
it
time.
everywhere.
Take your time. Please. Don't rush.
And again, I'm not calling you out on the show, but I want to let you know if you don't like the cigar or it's just not your thing. I know you don't smoke a lot of cigars. Don't feel bad. Lay it down. Don't worry about it at all. And don't inhale it.
Don't inhale it.
Yeah.
That's the most important part.
Got
Yeah.
my grandpa's lungs.
Thank you, buddy.
Good.
So Old Forester, bottled in bond.
Bottled in bond, 100 proof, so we know it's at least 4 years old. And I have actually had this.
Have you?
Yeah, I had this down at Watch Hill Proper last year. If you haven't been to Watch Hill Proper in Prospect, Kentucky, it is the craziest freaking bourbon bar I've ever been into in my life. There are thousands and thousands of bottles in there.
Wow.
Insane. But they have a huge collection of Dusties, a huge collection of Old Forester Dusties. And,
wow.
I got to try it and really enjoyed it.
So better than Doc Crow's? Well, maybe not by number of bottles, but probably by
It's just
Dusties
different.
and quality of the pours.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have you
I
been?
think Doc Crow's has way less Dusties than Watch.
And Doc Crow's, I think, pretty much has whiskey from every distillery in America.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, I saw stuff from some places around in the Midwest that I would never even touch. It was on their menu. I'm like, ooh.
What are you guys getting on the nose here?
Oh man, it's just, I mean, I can't believe this is that old. I mean, it's got that really, really bright fruit note.
At least 4 years.
You can smell the vanilla.
Very sweet.
Very sweet.
It does not have any nose like it just came out of a 1950s bottle.
No.
At all.
That's the one thing with the ones that Isaiah brought in was a lot of the turkey stuff. Those turkey bottles had a little bit of that kind of old, dusty kind of thing going to them. Not in a bad way, but this doesn't. This tastes like a fresh crack right here. Or smells.
It almost makes you wish you were alive in the 50s to be able to drink it when they put it out.
Oh, man.
This is viscous. This has got a
Lot of
mouth
vanilla.
coat that is awesome.
Okay, so the vanilla I'm getting is not as much like sweet vanilla. It's more like vanilla extract.
Yeah, the sweetness on the nose doesn't transfer to the
No.
palate for me.
No.
So I get a little bit of a peppery finish on it.
Yeah.
But, this is excellent.
Smooth.
It does. It just reminds me of a really high-end vanilla extract.
Yes,
It's pretty good. I don't get a lot of Dusties anymore, so
I will say it does not taste like Old Forester.
it does not. Yeah, it most definitely does
We
not.
love Old Forester, so
yeah. There is a slight dusty quality on the palate.
Yeah, on the palate for sure.
Not big.
that may be that extract thing that I'm getting. Some of that.
So did you like the rye when they put it out a couple years ago?
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's not much from Old Forester I'm not a fan of. You know, like we've
There's
talked.
just less popular things that.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about, 1910 and 1920 being the two big popular ones. They came out with 24 this year.
Yeah, I saw that.
And like, for me, I'm not going to talk about it for these guys. For me, great pour. It's not twice. I still like 20 better, and 20's half the price.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
me,
Exactly. Yeah.
for me, it's my least favorite of the line. I'll be honest.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I liked it. I
Where's
liked it,
that
but
price point?
I guess honestly, it doesn't beat 1910. You're right.
It
You're
doesn't
right.
beat 1920 at all.
It doesn't beat 1920 at
for me
all.
Yeah. No.
That's my calibrate pour for before I do a barrel pick. I want to taste something to make sure my palate's on.
Yeah.
I know what 1920 tastes like till the cows come on. And so if I get a pour of that and it doesn't taste like 1920 to me, I probably should
Not talk.
take a step back and keep my mouth shut.
So do you have a calibrate pour that you like that you just know exactly what the profile is?
I mean, honestly, my go-to daily, and you guys are going to think I'm crazy, but Knob Creek.
No, not at all.
I'd love
Just the regular Knob Creek?
Just a regular Knob Creek.
Oh,
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
And that's,
don't think
again,
you're crazy.
that's one that if you've tasted it enough, the flavor profile in the back of your head. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a very reproducible flavor profile.
Yeah.
That if your tasting is on or off with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's
I would
a good
say
Yeah.
probably mine is probably Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond.
Okay.
I love the new one, the 7-year.
I think I'm getting that way too. I think that might be one of my new favorites.
That's just, I mean, it's a great pour. It's finally coming down in price where you can find it in the $38, $39 range, which is where it should be.
Or you just go to cons and you can get it the cheapest in the state.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I got in a Facebook argument with them too. I said it's not the cheapest in the state. They said, where else can you get it? I said, Costco. It's $1 cheaper at Costco. They were like, they get 1,000 barrels.
They don't-
Blah, blah, blah. I
I'll
was
say
like,
they don't count.
Costco doesn't count,
You
Mike.
got to pay for that membership, too.
No, you don't. Not for alcohol.
No?
Oh, that's
you-
true. Pharmacy, eye care, and liquor. You don't
Okay.
have- yeah, so.
Nice.
All of them. Sam's
Yeah.
Club, any of them.
So, we got to stop shouting out Logan because he's going to pass us on this. So I'm not going to say your last name. You got to figure it out.
Yeah. Screw you,
Screw
Logan.
you, Logan.
Logan that has maybe a long beard.
Maybe
Maybe
a long
beard.
bearded guy.
Might be a
his-
cool guy.
One of the pages that he talked about that he runs is it's like Total Wine Finds or something. I don't remember what it is. I'm on it, but there's like 20,000 people on there, and just people all over the country post.
It's nuts.
It's insane. Like
Yeah.
all this stuff coming out in like California and stuff. Like Blanton's Gold hits like once a week, and different bookers every week, and
Wow.
like just everything. Some dude left with like 2 bottles of Stag Junior and 2 bottles of Heaven Hill 18. I'm like, geez, dude, like I can't even get like.
I've never had that luck.
Yeah,
No.
I used to be able to go
Total
into my
Wine.
liquor store and get Stag right off the shelf. Stag.
Oh, I
Junior.
know.
Yeah.
Well, I remember at Total Wine when you could do that. Like that was just part of the deal, man. Like that was great. But
I
you
wish
know,
I had more of this. I really do.
So
I mean,
you got this from Alan, you said.
yeah. I mean,
Just give you a sample.
yeah. We got we kind of all chipped in for Isaiah's bachelor party and got a wild turkey
I remember that. Yeah,
from him. That
was
good.
in the turkey.
It was like
decanter.
it was a turkey and a fox. It was like a
Yeah.
fox chasing a turkey that's kind of flying away,
Ceramic.
and it
Yeah.
was beautiful.
I
Beautiful.
loved it. So
I mean,
tell,
so- yeah.
yeah. So what have you had that is like a dusty pour that is something that you are really fond of?
Oh, that's a good question.
This.
Yeah, exactly.
This
That's honestly probably the best that I've had. Like that, how smooth it was, how sweet it was. I mean,
I think some of the turkey dusties are pretty good too, but I've also had some really bad dusty turkeys. Like, and I know that you've probably had some pretty musty turkeys in the past.
Yeah, the ones that have scared me the most have been some of the Jim Beam, actually. Like, I've had some Jim Beam
really?
that are overly dusty, yeah. To the point where it's just too bookcasey. The old
Did you try
Crow.
Deshong's?
I did not. No, I've not tried
It
his.
looked like fruit juice. Like when it came out of the decanter, it
Oh,
was from
wow.
like 1917 or something crazy.
Was it good?
It was pretty good.
Really?
It was surprising putting it up next to like this year's regular
Right.
Jim Beam. Like it was interesting. It wasn't overpowering or anything, but it wasn't as musty as some of the other things that I've experienced from Jim Beam. Like you're saying that barnwood.
I do have a Old Crow Chessman at home still. That is, I think that's a 1973, and that holds up really well. That's really drinkable.
Love it. Love
yeah,
it.
fun.
Well, cool. Well, I'm done with mine, Rob. You're over there slacking, so
Done with your what?
he's taking his time.
Oh,
over
I'm
there.
taking my time.
I'm
You're-
about done too.
You're enjoying your dusty.
It's
over there.
good. It's good.
It is very good. Thanks, Alan.
I will say if you guys, I don't know how often you guys are up north, but like north or like almost in Michigan, there's a bourbon bar there, and they used to be right off the interstate. Now they're over on Lake James. It's called, I believe it's the 6th on Lake James or something like that.
I've heard people talk about that.
But the lady who owns it, her and her husband, Marty, she's actually in our group, the Central Indiana Bourbon Society. She was part of the Fort Wayne Bourbon Society, and she let us all have our group meetings up there. They had a big area where everybody could just sit and share pours. And I mean, she brought out I bet it was probably a 1990, 1991 bottle of Antique 107. She's like,
Nice.
here, take this with you.
That's
Never even
cool.
opened. But she has thousands of bottles of bourbon in her place. I mean,
she?
anything you want to drink, she's got. And the thing is too, like, it used to be a nice quick restaurant but now it's, you got to call and make a reservation. I mean, the food is super amazing and the bourbon
Is that
is
the
great.
white building that's on the curve?
Yeah.
Okay. I've eaten there before,
Yeah.
but I think it was before she owned it.
Yeah. Yep. Right on. It's right on Lake James. I mean,
Okay.
it's very, very kind of, I forget what town, what is that up there?
I don't know
I
that
just know
area
it as
too
Lake
well.
James. Yeah.
It's north of Fort Wayne, basically. It's in between Fort Wayne, right before you get to Michigan.
Angola, maybe?
Angola, that's what it is. Yeah.
Okay.
So anybody listen, if you're up that way, I mean, and she's done great. Like she's always done stuff for the group and chimed in, and I know she's really helped out with the Fort Wayne group. So, but yeah, if you guys are up there, that's a awesome place to go to.
we love to go explore new places all the time.
Always,
when we're in
yeah.
the area.
Yeah.
So a couple of us travel quite a bit. So
Yeah.
we'll definitely check it out.
Yeah.
So let's get into this a little bit. So we want to hear a little bit about you. You know who you are, where you came from. You know the club, a little bit about the club, everything you want to talk about. We just want to get to know you because it's obviously the first time any of us has actually met you in person.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're excited to
So
hear about you.
Mike reached out and asked about the podcast. Appreciate that, Mike. That's awesome. I definitely appreciate the opportunity. So again, my name is Jeremy Chesher. I run the Central Indiana Bourbon Society Facebook group. So my wife and I actually started that group out right before the pandemic hit. So it may have been January, February 2020. I remember it so well because it was right after Kobe died in his helicopter crash. So Like,
So
I don't know
you
if there's
caused the bourbon
I
boom.
caused the bourbon. Yeah,
Nice.
no, not at all. So, but
Jeremy
we,
did it.
Yeah, I did it. Blame it on me.
No, we'll
So-
take it.
We had really gotten into, like I said, I originally got on with the Fort Wayne Bourbon Society. My in-laws live up there, and they didn't really see anything like that around this area at the time. So I met with the guys who was running that page and spoke with them, and sorry.
Yeah, go get you some.
Yeah.
Here, you want to take that last swig? I didn't want you.
So what you're getting ready to drink now is our Elijah Craig barrel pick we did.
Okay.
I still think it's one of the best Elijah Craigs I've had, and I love it. So see what you think of it.
Okay, sure.
But yeah, keep talking. You're good.
So
poured you heavy too. I'm sorry.
Oh, no,
Poured you
you're fine.
heavy.
Hey, it's all
Darn.
good. Nothing wrong with a heavy pour. So we like I said, we done that. We went to a couple of the group meetings. We thought, man, we need something like that closer to home because obviously Fort Wayne's about 2 hours away. So we ended up creating that site and literally started out with probably 10 or 15 people, bourbon drinkers I was close with, and then some of the Fort Wayne guys joined because they were closer to Indianapolis or the Central Indiana area, and they just didn't really have a group to go to. And like I said, the reason we started it was to share basically good bourbon and share where you could find that good bourbon and not give your firstborn kid to be able to buy that bottle of bourbon. So
Yeah.
and just meeting with a lot of the local owner liquor stores and things like that. I mean, they just seeing what they had and what they had in this area just made us want to create this group. Like I said, we just kind of done it for a hobby, and it just took off. I mean, I guess a lot of people had a lot of time on their hands during the pandemic. Who would guess?
Yeah.
But I mean, we hit a lot of distilleries. We went probably 5 or 6 different distilleries down around Louisville, all the big ones. And then, we were talking about Jeff the Creed earlier. We went there, which by the way, I know that, we talked a little bit about their alcohol, but their water, their tap water is some of the best water you'll ever. I mean, it's crazy. It's so refreshing. It's like
That's just Louisville in general.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll drink water out of the toilet from Louisville.
That's probably why I have the best bourbon in the world.
Yeah.
Man, so
It's that magical limestone shelf that's only in the state of Kentucky.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It absolutely doesn't go all the way up to Minnesota.
No, it does not. No, never.
no.
So it's funny you brought up Jeff the Creed because they told me that they originally told me no, they wouldn't come talk to us because I told you about our following, and they were like, yeah, you don't have enough of a following. My response was like, you don't have enough of a following. I was like, what do you mean? So I ended up talking to their sales rep, and he was like, dude, I am so sorry about that. Super nice dude. So he's gonna come hang out with us.
Awesome.
So hopefully we'll get to try some of their new
we
stuff.
my wife and I love going there. That's her favorite
It's a
place. We
cool
go
spot,
there,
man.
eat, sit down and drink and I mean it's just super nice right off the road, So yeah, we like Jephthah. We were talking about Hard Truth earlier. Great Indiana distillery. We went there several times. Their new restaurant is amazing, by the way. I don't know if you guys have been
It is
there
very
yet.
good.
I've
Yeah.
not been.
Yeah.
You haven't been? I haven't been
No,
either.
we're working.
Eric's been.
We're working on maybe doing a podcast. Down
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sometime this summer would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it'd be
so.
super fun to go down there.
I will
and
tell
hang
you,
out
man,
and
the
stuff.
tastings there are fantastic. They will get you drunk to where you have to go eat.
Yeah.
They just keep
Or
on
spend
feeding
more
you
money to
alcohol.
stay a weekend or something.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
They got
But it's
cabins and
great,
stuff.
man.
Yeah, it's cool.
So Jeff the Creed, is that like the only female-owned distillery down in Kentucky, or do you know that?
I know that they advertise that. I don't know if there's anybody else that's jumped in since then, but they were, I think, one of the first, if not the first. Yeah.
Right, because I mean, like, I know
You mean
Mary,
completely?
there's plenty of female distillers, master distillers, but that actually
but
own
completely owned.
a
But
distillery.
Jackie's part owner of their distillery.
Yeah, but
She's
it's
a
not-
Well,
partner.
she's part of a brand, not
Yeah.
really the distillery.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, she
gotcha.
owns the brand Hidden Barn, or co-owns it.
That's true. You're
which is
right.
owned by Neely, so
Well, it's
Got
kind of a conglomerate.
Calabro.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. She tried to explain that when she was here, and
I didn't understand it.
I kind of, I didn't quite follow it. So
Okay.
there's some sort
way
of,
over our head.
Cool.
Collaboration. So.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever. So yeah, what else you got? How much? What Sorry, I didn't mean
Yeah,
to cut you off.
no. So like I said, we hit these distilleries. I mean, it was just something. Our 2 kids, we have three daughters. 2 of them have obviously out of the house, and we've got grandkids now. So and I've got a 13-year-old that's still at home. So we obviously have a little bit more time on our hands now that we're not taking 3 kids because the 2 are grown. And then if we want to go to distillery or something, we'll just drop the youngest off at one of her sister's house, and she'll go stay with them. But I mean, it was just something. It started out something just new to do. I mean, just visiting all these places, and then I actually got my wife into bourbon, which is crazy to me because she's never really been into alcohol or anything, and she'd sit like her favorite. I know you guys are gonna give me some slack, but her favorite's Blanton's. So I know it's super hard to find. I've got probably 15 or 20 bottles I bought whenever it was easy to find, and we just drink on it whenever. But
It'd be like, honey, you had to go in like the one bourbon that nobody can find.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and that's the thing about, I think we say this about Bland's all the time. Bland's is fine if you can buy it for 40, 50 bucks.
Right. Yeah.
But these people selling 80, 100, 120 bucks, like it's not that good. It's great as a shelf staple if you're buying 40 bucks or so.
But the gold and the Takara Black are actually really good.
Actually, you're right. Those
like
Japanese
Takara Black,
releases are
all
fantastic.
The Japanese releases are amazing.
Straight from the barrel.
Straight from the barrel's
straight from the barrel's good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Special bottle.
Which is way more expensive than the Takara Black.
Yeah.
So what is your wife's name?
Her name is Laura. and
Laura?
It's
Shout out to
L-O-R-A.
Laura.
Yeah.
Yes.
Shout out to Laura. Cheers.
Which,
Cheers,
if
babe.
she's like any of the other R-wise, she's probably not going to listen either, so that's fine.
She might jump in just to see me on a podcast. So
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, I wouldn't be able to do. I mean, she's helped out. She's been there obviously since day one. I mean, originally it was just us two approving everybody, and when we started the group, like I said, we wanted to make sure we didn't have, because what we saw on other pages, a lot of scam bot or robots and things like that, just trying to get people to buy stuff that weren't there, and we focused really hard on trying to get a lot of that out, because that was the biggest complaints we saw from the groups that we were in, was that it's just, you never knew if it was a real person or not. So,
or fake followers.
or fake followers. Yeah. So, I mean, we didn't, like I said, we didn't just add people just to be adding people. We made sure that, that's literally one of the main questions on there is, do you love bourbon? So, and everybody's very interactive within the group. I mean, they especially when something big comes out, they all chime up, and that's when you see a lot of posts, and that's kind of what we look into.
Good.
One thing that we were looking into, obviously, was trying, and we've got a couple moderators we added on, and admins. So, and some of them have some pretty good contacts, and we've kind of been looking at maybe doing our own group pick, so to speak. So, and obviously meeting with you guys today. I mean, obviously, those who haven't been here, amazing place to come to. I mean, I'm very, very surprised. Like I said, it's very, very welcoming crew, and they definitely know their bourbon and their cigars, which I didn't know anything about cigars. I still don't know anything about cigars other than how to light one up. So, but these guys have done great, done a great job. And I mean, I love your guys' place is awesome, by the way.
Well, when you in Central Indiana want to do a pick, we'll definitely do a pick with you sometime. That's one thing we like. We don't have a carryout license here, so it's hard for us to do full barrel picks all the time, because I'm literally going to be selling 200 bottles by the pour. That's hard.
Right.
But so I'd love to do something like that with you sometime. Yeah.
I'm sure that people in our group would definitely love that. I mean, that's one thing we haven't done yet that some of the other groups have done, is their own group site. And like I said, we would like to get more involved in a lot of that stuff. Like, I was talking to you earlier about, I've kind of just stood back for probably the last 6 months to a year with my daughter being in the hospital. So, and she's doing a little bit, she's doing better now. Thank the Lord for that.
That's good.
But, we really want to get back into it. And this definitely coming over here just gives me like new energy, so to speak. Just like I said, we poured our life, blood, and soul, so to speak, in the page when it first took off, first started going off. And then, like I said, eventually we had to add. We've probably got 5 administrators now that help out the group, and they do a great job. Shout out to all of you guys. Thank you so much for all the work you put in. We would not be able to do it without you.
Cheers.
I mean,
Cheers.
it's definitely a nonstop, taking time out of their own personal life to be able to, moderate and make sure we're getting the right people in this group, to push it forward. I mean, like I said, we have a lot of bourbon drinkers around here, especially being so close to Kentucky. And then obviously we got a lot of great distilleries in Indiana. So, I mean, I can only see things going up from here. I mean, like I said, when we have local partners that we can collaborate with and bring stuff here, I mean, once people realize that there is better bourbon out there than just what everybody tells you to go get. I mean, if people would just go, we were talking about Benchmark earlier. I mean, you go get you a $9, $10 bottle of Benchmark. Hey, you can't really complain. I mean, it's very good bourbon. So,
and you just said it, like Indiana's got so many distilleries, so many great distilleries, that doing a barrel pick here in the state, like, take your pick. Like, you've got a lot of opportunity, and you don't have to. Kentucky bourbon's great, right? We all love it, but man, to be able to do a barrel pick in your home state with all fellow Hoosiers, is something special.
Yes,
really,
completely agree.
Well, you have to bring Laura in and hang out sometime
Yeah.
with us.
Yeah, for sure.
So we definitely like to have the ladies crowd in here. And we have quite a few women that come out and
Yeah, we
enjoy
got a couple
bourbon. So
ladies' nights on Wednesdays. So
yeah.
Bring her
We'll
friend
talk about that in a
Wednesdays.
while. Yeah.
So it's cool.
Final Third Cigar is Indiana's exclusive Aladino Cigar Lounge. Come to Final Third for a selection of over 20 different Aladino cigars, including the Cameroon, a wonderful cigar with nice light flavors. Make sure and visit Final Third, the Aladino exclusive cigar lounge for Indiana.
That's cool,
Yeah,
man.
I mean, yeah,
I appreciate that.
you talked about, your admins, your moderators. Yeah, I was former admin on the Indiana Bourbon Club page, and that is just constantly every morning getting up and trying to clear out all the bots.
Yeah.
And it's a daily
It
thing,
is.
and there's just hundreds of them, and it's just a daily maintenance thing you got to do, and somebody's got to do it.
Right.
If not, you got, hey, come buy my, fake bourbon, blah, blah, blah.
Come to my
Yeah.
liquor store in
Yeah.
New York, or
Right.
and buy this dusty stuff, all this antique stuff. That's
I got
used in
Pappy
quality.
for $100.
Right.
Well, and that's the way by growing organically like you're trying to do, you can eliminate a lot of that instead of just trying to blow up for numbers.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's actually a good way to do that.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
if you didn't know what those bots looked like, it's when somebody comments on your post and it's like, "Hey, did you find that bottle? Message me."
Message
Right.
me.
Yeah.
Like,
DM
oh
me.
yeah,
Yeah.
Or,
right,
or
okay.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice with like 5 thumbs up
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
a link on. Don't click the
Yeah.
link.
No.
Just don't click the
No.
link.
But they're getting smarter.
They are getting smarter.
It's getting a
Yeah.
little
Oh,
more
yeah.
difficult.
Yeah, like real people, real names, real images. Like it's
Yeah.
not just a blank page anymore. Like
Right.
It's
Yeah.
got history. Like,
Yeah. Ron Swanson and this girl in a bikini. Wow, she's hot.
It's Ron Swanson and Aubrey Plaza on the beach. Sorry, Aubrey, I had to call you out again. I'm going to tag you again this week because I really want to get you on the show because
Yes.
Trey Mack really likes you. So
Yes. Yes.
So, Jeremy, do you have any particular distillery or do you kind of like focusing in on to maybe try to do a pick with, or you have your top couple you want to go after? Or?
So I would honestly, and I've spoken to a couple of the guys over there. We just haven't really got together and done anything. But I mean, we were talking about West Fork earlier. I mean, that's really would be a good place to start. I mean, it's right in the heart of Indiana, So and
Yeah.
they're doing great things over there with a lot of their picks that they've got now. So, I mean, it would be awesome to be able to start somewhere like that.
did you see yesterday they posted the video of them installing some of their equipment? A couple
Yep,
tanks
yep.
got delivered.
Good.
They're getting their distillery
They're-
going there in Westfield.
yeah,
and
they're
just
moving.
crushed San Francisco.
Yeah.
Double gold and on the double
Couple
oaked.
golds, couple silver.
Yeah.
double gold, double
golds.
gold on the double oaked. Yeah.
Now, did any of their West Fork distillate win?
What,
It did, didn't
bottled
it?
and bond.
we did bottled and
we-
bond.
Yeah.
One gold.
So
yeah.
not only their stuff that they'd sourced, but their own stuff coming out now is getting medals, and that's great, man. That's great
Which-
for another Indiana brand.
I mean, straight up honest, the weeded mash bill they have is not my favorite of them. I do like the higher rye mash bill they have. But hey, man, kudos.
Oh yeah,
Competition speaks for itself, right?
It does.
So,
Yeah,
It does.
me and Rob are talking. I think we're going to submit the Hail to the Victor to the San Francisco.
hell yeah, baby.
well,
Let's
look,
go.
that's not really fair. That's
There's
we
only
don't
like
wanna
3
blow
more
'em out.
bottles left. So
that's my blend I did down. in
Okay.
Kentucky.
Bourbon 30, yeah.
We want to give everyone else a
I
chance, so
didn't-
we're going to hold back on submitting that. 'cause
I
we
didn't
just
submit
know
it to
it'll
any
win.
competitions just because it wouldn't be fair.
yeah. There's a
You already
reason
know
why
you
his handle's
I mean-
Cocky Wolverine.
And it is better than Rob's. So.
Yeah.
Fuck no.
Well, guess who won a championship? Guess who didn't? Wah, wah.
That is true.
Yeah.
The victors did win.
But
The
Rob,
fuel
you
did
don't
not.
have, do you have a football team that you really pull for, like a college
College?
football team? Yeah.
Honestly, no, because when
Yeah.
I worked at Draper, which again we have a connection there. I covered the entire SEC, and I'm from Indiana, so I'm watching Big Ten and SEC football all the time. So I really never had a team. I did follow LSU quite a bit early on because I sold a lot of equipment to LSU. So I did like LSU quite a bit, but I haven't really followed it much. I just love college football in general.
Me too.
So Rob's a Florida fan just because it
No,
pisses
I'm not.
Chris off.
No, I'm not. No.
So have you been to watch a Notre Dame game?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yes.
And you're not sold straight on Notre Dame after
No,
that experience?
no, my sister is. I don't mind watching them, but I've never been. It's a great
What,
place
football?
to watch a game.
football.
Excellent place to watch a game.
Great, man. You can go out there. It's 30 degrees outside. You get
chills
inside
down
the
your
sun,
spine.
and it's 80 degrees inside the little bowl
It's-
there.
I've only driven by there. I've never actually like been there. Jen had a
I mean,
contract.
come
in
on,
Lafayette,
man.
so-
You run into the end zone and touchdown Jesus has got you right there, baby.
Oh yeah.
It's great.
Well, you've got, I mean, you have a lot of stuff there. You've got
There's
the
a lot.
grotto. The grotto is really cool to see at night. All
Yep.
the candles lit up. And then, I mean, just the campus is amazing. You know,
It is a
the,
very large campus.
watching the player walk, watching the trumpets in the dome. I mean, there's no experience like it. I mean, again, I say that I'm partial because they're my favorite football team, but that's another thing my wife and I love to go do. I mean, she's huge.
That's
in
cool.
Notre Dame, you know, but then basketball is not Notre Dame. Basketball is IU. So
Okay. All right.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So I've never seen a game. I've been to one basketball game in my life. I've been to one hockey game in my life
Wait.
as a spectator.
Oh, yeah. I
As
was
a-
say you've
like-
been to a shit ton of Louisville games.
No. So I do broadcast. My background is broadcast. I do technical directing for ESPN, ACC Network, or whoever calls me. I work for the Pacers. But I'm a technical director. I sit in the studio, and I don't go to the court, like, ever. So, like, I worked All-Star Week. I never saw the court. Like, I was
in an office somewhere out back?
Yeah, I'm just in the back room. I never was allowed to go to the court or, like, couldn't go. So, like, I don't go to things.
So were you there for Game 6 last?
I was there for Game 4. I did not get crewed for Game 6. I was kind of pissed because I was supposed to work Game 6. It is what it is. They
a hell of a
won.
game.
That's cool. I'm
was a good
happy.
game.
They play today at 3:30.
I know.
By the
So-
time this airs, it'll be yesterday.
So I will say one thing.
Let's go Pacers.
Let's talk about the cigar and whiskey
Let's do
here
it, yeah.
together. The cigar with the whiskey. I'm getting butter toffee. I just think
Okay.
the combination of the two, the cigar's got that kind of buttery creaminess, and then the whiskey kind of brings the toffee out. It's just really, really nice combo.
I still get caramely notes,
And that's probably what
Yeah,
I'm thinking.
that-
Toffee, yeah, butter toffee.
which I get those on a lot of the Elijah Craig things too. Like, well, man, even some of the larceny stuff, like the C923 larceny gave me a lot of toffee notes, not caramel. But I think this one gives me more caramel than toffee.
Sure,
That's cool.
yeah.
Very good, Craig.
Like
Big-
a Werther's.
Big blast of caramel to me.
Yeah.
Just caramel on the roof of my mouth, everywhere.
Yeah.
Really good.
Very, very good.
You don't have any of that C923 left, do you? The Elijah Craig?
Yeah,
Do you?
yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna gag it down.
I want Jeremy to try it.
All right,
And
we'll,
then-
we'll test his palate.
We'll test his
There you go.
palate.
Yeah, there you go.
Everybody else, you know, all the bourbon influencers and all these other people that are doing this for a living, you know, everybody was so up in the air about C923 that
Best
it was like
bourbon
the best
ever.
bourbon in the world, and like this was the best Elijah Craig batch, and like we had a batch here, and it was just
Phenomenal.
Well, and Will talked about this quite a bit. Will actually has been to he travels for work and stuff, and he was down I think in Louisiana or something.
New Orleans, yeah.
New Orleans, yeah. And he tried C923 down there, and it was there's two batches. There's two different codes on the bottles. The one he tried down there was fantastic.
it's a different.
The one
batch.
up here is over oaked.
Okay.
That was my opinion.
We assumed it was a
I
different
tried
batch.
it. So I tried C923 3 times. I had it. The first time I had it was at Rural Inn at Ray's place. Ray and Vince, shout out.
Shout
the
out, Ray.
second
Love
time
Rural Inn.
was here
Mhm.
when you got your first bottle. And those two were tasted basically the same to me. And then third time was down in New Orleans at, Bourbon House. Yeah, one of the Brennans. Yeah, Dickie Brennan's Bourbon House or Ralph Brennan's Bourbon House. I can't remember. Anyway, there's two different laser codes. And what I've found on YouTube and everywhere else where people have tried to do them side by side is that they're only a day apart release. So a lot of people are saying it's BS. I don't know. All I can tell you is
I
maybe
trust
my palate was different that day down in New Orleans, but it tasted totally different.
I
than
trust
what it
your
tasted
palate,
here.
man. I know your palate well enough to know that if you thought it was different, it was
It
different.
just tasted different.
Yeah.
They were
tasted
dumping
a hell of a
tap
lot
water
better.
in there that day.
Yeah.
yeah.
It
It wasn't
just tasted
limestone
better.
water; it was tap water.
Yeah,
that
it
day.
was the New Orleans funk.
Yeah,
one.
because we had people coming in here. Hell, Dr. J come in here. He's like, "Oh, that's bullshit. You guys have to be wrong. Everyone's saying it's great." And you come in, Trey's like, "Well, damn, that's not as good as everyone's saying." I'm like,
He
that's
said it
that's what
was
we've
the
been saying.
most drying liquid he's ever
I think
drank.
it's
like lemonade.
polarizing. It's polarizing, and I think that it does. There's got to be some effect that particular whiskey has that really, where your palate's at on any given day, has a huge effect. Because Fred, here's my shout out to Fred. But when
Fred.
Fred Sorry, I always
He's
throw
bougie.
Fred Minnick in. But
He's
when,
bougie.
when Fred,
drink.
let me put my shades on.
And by Fred, he's talking about Fred Minnick. It's just Fred to him. Yeah.
When
It's just Fred to
but
him.
when Fred tasted it, did a review, he didn't go bonkers over it. But then in his top 100, he rated it. I want to say it was in the
It was high.
top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, what the hell?
Well, it kind of shocked me and we've talked about this, I won't belabel it, but it did shock me that 2 Larceny barrel proofs were 1-2. And they were both great, but I'm like, those are your top 2 picks of the year. That's amazing.
A124 is in the top 5 of the Ascot Awards.
Really?
Yeah.
Was
So
that
he
the one
must just have a
Yeah,
Larceny.
that was the best in the world according to.
He just
American
released
Distillers.
that yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That's his palate, man.
Yeah.
A124 is like, I got to taste it again. First time I didn't, didn't have a.
We tried it over at the casino.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good. Now,
did too.
we did have a few other pours before that. We were smoking
Less
cigars. But I thought it was good.
Yeah, Jeremy, do you have like a preference, weeded versus rye mash bills, or do you care? Or do you just like it's got to
Don't matter.
taste?
I mean, so my favorite rye is Angel's Envy. I love Angel's Envy.
Okay.
Like, it's like it's just like a more of a sweet rye, hot, so to speak. So we were talking about the Old Forester rye earlier. I've got a case of that at the house that when it came out, I liked it, so I bought it, and you couldn't hardly find it anywhere either. But the liquor store, he called me and said, "Hey, I got a case in if you want it." So I got it. So, like I said, rye is kind of more on the hot side. I mean, most of the ones that but like I said, I do like I said, Angel's Envy is probably the best rye I think I like. The weeded, it's okay. I do like the obviously the 107 is probably my favorite for Weller. I don't know.
I should have brought some Whiskey Acres stuff. Have you ever had a Whiskey
I still
Acres?
have.
Have you ever heard of
I got
Whiskey
2 bottles
Acres?
back here. I got
Do you?
2.
Okay,
So.
maybe we'll try you out
I had
on
the
that too.
Nocino and then the straight bourbon.
That one's good. So Whiskey Acres is based out of Illinois in DeKalb.
Okay.
They do seed to spirit, so they grow everything. And they harvest there's one of the only places that has a master distiller and a master farmer.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So it's like farm to table for bourbon.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yes.
So everyone else says,
Okay.
what is it, grain to glass?
Yeah.
Well,
Seed
grain
to spirit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
theirs is
Yeah.
seed to spirit because they literally propagate their own seeds. And that's family farm that they own and run and harvest and
And they're not
mash
only farmers, they're like scientists and nerds. I mean, this guy went over to was it Italy and got a strain
Yeah,
in
the
Italy
master
and Minnesota and hybridized it to create a new variety of corn that he's creating whiskey. We tasted the White Dog. This might be the best freaking White Dog I've ever tasted in my life. It was
a
so
female
good.
strain of corn that was from Italy. It was the last 2 pounds in existence.
Yeah.
And it was polenta.
Can we throw a picture up? Like,
Yeah.
I've
I'll show
got
because
it.
I got the video too,
Yeah.
so I'll put that up there so you guys can see it. Whoever's watching on YouTube, and then a male strain from was it Wisconsin?
Wisconsin or Minnesota, somewhere in there.
Might have been
yeah.
Minnesota.
Okay.
I'll double check that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's Minnesota.
Yeah.
it is.
Crossbred those, and then propagated their own seed.
Well, and they've
this
grown
hybrid.
sweet corn, they've grown regular corn, they've grown
Blue
this corn.
popcorn,
He said
Oaxacan.
they realized they had something special when they had the crops out there, and the birds would only eat that corn. They would not touch the sweet corn around it or any other corn. They were eating that, and they had to keep them or run the birds
What did they say?
off.
It was like 30% or something. They had to overplant because the birds.
Because
were
the birds.
stealing it.
Much the birds.
Yeah.
And the deer same way. They would not.
Yeah.
They would walk through all the other corn to get to that to eat it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm like, that's amazing.
It's got a lot of ethanol left over after that.
But they do a lot of cool varietals. They do blue popcorn. They do what is that? Glass
Oaxacan.
gem.
They do the Oaxacan
Glass
corn.
Jim, Oaxacan.
glass gem. Yeah.
Glass Jim. Yeah, that's one of them. Yeah.
Bloody Butcher. Yeah.
They did a Bloody Butcher
One time.
one time.
Yeah, I don't think they were
And
going to keep
did
doing
a
that.
Sweet corn one time.
So
Which-
where do you get it at?
Well,
Nowhere yet. It's
right
coming.
now, Illinois. But it's coming to Indiana soon via Indiana Small Batch.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
They
we're-
will be distributing in the state of Indiana, hopefully soon.
And
Yeah,
from what I
so we'll
heard,
be
I
able to
think
get
the first ones that are going to be coming to Indiana are going to be their staple, the bourbon staple.
It was the
the
four-
bottle and bond.
4 of them.
Yeah, four. So
Four.
the cask, the rye, bottle and bond, and then what was the other
The
one?
bottle and bond
I know
rye,
Bottle and bond rye.
I think
Yeah.
we're getting cask. We're getting a maple
cask?
finish.
maple
Okay,
finish.
so
That was the
yeah,
other
well,
one.
not the
Which
cask.
actually their maple finish
Yeah.
is perfect.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the right amount of sweetness without being over sweet.
Okay.
You have the Nocino finish, right? Not
I
the
do.
Nocino.
Right. I don't have the
Okay.
Nocino. I'm still kicking myself in the butt for not grabbing that bottle.
Well, we'll go back and get it.
We will.
Yeah,
We will.
because that'll be one of the ones that's probably not going to make it down here for quite a while.
It
So the
won't.
Nocino.
Actually, he said it'll
finish-
never make it. They can't make enough of it to actually not sell it just
Oh, yeah,
at
'cause
the
that's-
distillery. Yeah.
That's Jamie's baby that he works on, in September and October.
But hey, if Nick's
It's,
listening, man, send us a bottle, buddy.
please send us a bottle. Or Eric, if
Do
you're
you know what
listening.
Nocino is? Because I didn't
No,
know what it was either.
no idea.
So it's basically black walnut liqueur,
Okay.
and they literally take the raw black walnuts and mash them and make this liqueur out of them. The barrels that they aged the Nocino in, they didn't fill with bourbon.
Okay.
And aged for not a very long time. It doesn't
No.
take a lot because Nocino is pretty
Powerful.
powerful note, but it's really
Thank you to sponsor Deadwood Live. Derek with Deadwood Live is producing top quality live edge products as well as bourbon themed furniture. If you've been in the lounge, you've seen the custom live edge table and barrel stools produced by Derek. Be sure to give him a like and follow on Facebook at Deadwood Live. That's DED Wood Live.
really good.
Oh.
Yeah, it's good.
Now, I do have the number one test for you right now.
Uh-oh.
It's either pass or fail.
Okay.
Amberana.
Never had it.
It's a good answer.
Okay, that's
That
okay.
passes.
That is the one neutral answer you can have.
We'll allow it.
I will say I absolutely hate Amberana. These guys are not quite the level of hate that I am.
I was going to bring the Artie one today. I was going to text you, but I forgot. We'll get it here eventually.
Yeah, we need to blind him on that.
Well, and you were talking about Angel's Envy Rye. When it first came out, when I was first trying it, I hated it. I did not like it. It was just too sweet.
Yeah.
And then we had an Angel's Envy event here with, was it Crowned Heads?
Yeah.
Yeah, Crowned Heads.
Crown Heads and Angel.
And we smoked a specific cigar with that, and it opened my eyes.
it's
I'm like, that
perfect.
was the perfect
It's
pairing.
amazing.
I'm like, okay, I just need the right cigar to pair with it.
Yeah.
And it was actually really, really nice.
Okay.
So shout out to you on that one because that was the one that was not on my radar.
My wife loves Angel's Envy Rye with a piece of chocolate that specifically made at Angel's Envy. It's like an orange covered chocolate, and it melts at like room temperature. So you open it up, you take a piece, you take a taste of the rye. It's pretty damn good.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah. Yeah,
I wouldn't know.
Lisa and Tam both really love it. I think Chloe, she really likes it too. But the Angel's Envy Rye, that's one of their favorites in here.
I almost killed my father-in-law with that.
Why?
Have I told you that story?
No, let's hear your story, buddy.
Oh, man. So my buddy Sean, you met Sean. Hippie
Yeah,
Sean.
yeah. Shout out Sean.
Shout out Sean. He'll never hear this either.
No.
Over at my house, we were like a month or so away from moving. So we just got together. I think it might have been Jen's birthday, actually. I don't remember how long ago. It was some time ago. Anyways, me and her dad used to drink. That was like our holiday thing. So like we'd get together, have some Woodford or Gentleman Jack or something because that's just what he would drink.
Yeah.
And like we would kill a bottle. So it was a little different. So he comes over, hangs out at our house, sitting on the patio. He's smoking a cigarette. I'm smoking a cigar. Sean's hanging out, smoking what he smokes. And then he was like, I want to drink. So I went inside and I was like, you could probably drink some of this. So we had a couple drinks. And the next thing I know, like 45 minutes go by and the bottle's gone. I'm like, what the hell happened to the bottle? Jen's like, yeah, Dad drank it. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. He's like, I gotta go home. And he's got a aneurysm.
Oh.
So like he probably shouldn't drink that much, or most definitely shouldn't drink that much. And next thing I know, he's in the front yard, like just face down. And he's like, I'm not leaving. Just trying to fight everyone. And then he ended up sleeping on the floor in the garage because it was cool. So he had a pretty rough night. So I don't think he's drank since then.
No more Angels Envy.
So I
Rye
like
for
to
him.
think I've contributed to his sobriety, which is probably good for him. So, if you ever
Sometimes
need to
it's
get
good.
sober, maybe just come hang out with me and we can overdrink for a day.
You know, the good thing is he had very thin blood, so he wasn't going to get another aneurysm.
That's true. Yeah, that's the most positive way to look at that. So I actually like that. That's good. So yeah,
I do have the C923 whenever you guys
there
wanna
you go.
get
Yeah,
into it.
we'll work through this and then we'll move to that
And
one.
I'll grab the Whiskey Acres in a minute,
Have you,
too.
Jeremy? Have you had the cash drink stuff from Angel's Envy?
I have tried it. I haven't got a bottle though. But I did. Yes, I do have a bottle of the cash strength.
Do
Yeah,
you want to know what year it is?
probably 20 or 21 maybe.
Okay, I've got a 2019 and it was a dog rocket. It was
Yeah.
awful. It was terrible. I think 20 and 21 were pretty good. The 17 that I have We call it bathtub juice. One of our buddies like re-aged it in another barrel.
Did he?
And
Did it help? Yeah.
you could start your lawnmower with it now, but
Taste the lime out of the bathtub.
Taste the biscuit.
Taste the biscuit.
take the biscuit. So, anyways, yes, Angel's Envy is okay. I don't really like the regular Angel's Envy stuff. I'm not a huge fan of like the regular stuff. I'll use it for like a cocktail just because it's cheaper than some of the other stuff, and it's definitely better than like Basil Hayden.
That's like drinking water, Basil Hayden.
It
I'm so
kind of
glad you
is.
said that because it's just watered down Jim Beam. I'll just take regular Jim Beam. If I'm
And you
drinking
know,
Jim Beam.
those people like it. That's great. It just, for me, it's the same way. It's just too light.
The only one I could taste is the 10-year rye. That was the only one that I ever thought that had any flavor profile at all, and it was just cinnamon, which I'm not a huge cinnamon person, so like it was.
Yeah.
But it wasn't Fireball cinnamon. It was just like baking spice cinnamon. So, but I don't know. But then at that point, like Total Wine was selling Basil Hayden 10 for like $100. I'm like, I'm not paying $100 for Basil Hayden.
No.
I'll get, you know.
Now, have you had their
Benchmark.
toasted? Have you tried it?
I've had the toasted and the subtle smoke, and then the only one I haven't tried is
Red wine?
I haven't tried that one.
The red finish, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't tried that
I
one.
haven't had that one either.
So toasted,
Is it
Basil Hayden's
underwhelming?
toasted though. I will say, for a gateway entry into bourbon, for someone who hasn't,
I do agree with that.
I think it's great. I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of what my wife, Becky, she started out with Castle and Key,
Okay.
and which is a little bit higher proof, but then Basil Hayden's toasted, and she loves them both. Now, she loves Starlight. She loves, Old 50, other brands that are a little bit
Yeah, I
higher
used to
proof.
keep it at home. Like that was because like Sean's not a huge. I mean, he's a bourbon drinker, but he's like, I'm drinking tonight. I'm gonna get drunk, and I'm like, I'm not gonna give you
Yeah.
Taylor single barrel if you're trying to smash some pours. Like we're gonna take some shots. We're taking Basil Hayden. Like it's 80 proof. You could probably drive home after a couple hours. Like
Yeah.
it's no big deal.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, it's a gateway one. Like that'll get you into liking other stuff. And Jim Beam has plenty of good products out there that are not that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
Bookers.
we take for granted that we can sit here and drink cast strength whiskey and not flinch on it. And, someone who's never
get
had
there.
bourbon or whiskey, they're like, what? I can't drink this. It's like firewater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Burning my innards.
Yeah.
Now, do you like the little book stuff from?
Yeah, absolutely. There are some. I can't remember which one. You said you got this year's, right? Or the newest release?
I'm trying to find chapter 7 now for my aunt. Shout out to Aunt Pumpkin.
Aunt
out.
South
Pumpkin.
Carolina.
I've still got a
Shout out
chapter 1 and a chapter 2. My
Drink.
chapter 1 was signed. I actually got it from the distillery the
Oh,
first
nice.
year it came
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, we picked up a bottle in North Carolina and we went down there a couple weeks ago for Eric's wedding.
Little book?
Yeah.
Or
Little
Booker's?
Book.
Oh.
It was Little Book.
Okay, okay. That's the
And it
thing.
was
Like,
good.
I like Booker's is one of those ones for me. It's like
Toasty.
it's hit and miss. There,
Yeah.
there's some that are absolutely fantastic, and then there's some that I bid up way too high that was okay.
The one that you bid up to.
I did that
Oh,
for an
yeah.
auction. I was just messing with another
Yeah.
guy, bidding him up, and he didn't bite on the last bid. So
Next
I
thing you
ended up
know,
taking-
Rob's got a $10,000 bottle of Booker's.
not that much. It was like $285. That's fine. It's fine.
The
It was all
worst.
for good
That's not
cause.
that bad.
Which was probably the worst release of 2023.
It actually was. It was the.
It's for charity.
It was. I think it was the Pinky's batch.
Was it that one that had that orange note to it, or
Maybe.
okay?
I mean, it was okay, but I'm like, there are some of those, like the Kentucky tea. Some of those were freaking amazing. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I want this one. I'm like,
What was the
"Aw,
biscuit one?
Taste the biscuit.
It wasn't called Taste of
Oh,
Biscuit. They
yeah.
had a biscuit one, though. I can't remember which one that was. Maybe
Yeah, I
4
don't
or
remember
5.
that one. I don't remember that one.
Is,
So
is
naming
Fred
them.
still doing those? Is he the one that's
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's still in charge of those, so
okay?
Yeah.
I think my
I can't keep up with the names.
He's still
unicorn. I
involved.
still got a Booker's 30. I don't know if you guys ever had one of those. The
I
Booker's
haven't.
30 year. Yeah, it was. I got it whenever it first came out. It was probably on the shelf $400, I think, as a retail, and it's about $5,000 now. And
Wow.
Oh, my
Jeez.
It came in a.
That's your rainy day
Well, you know how
bottle.
you know how Booker's comes in a the wooden.
Yeah, yeah.
So the way they made the thing for the 30-year-old, they took the actual barrels and made the bottle holder
box out of that.
it. Yeah,
Wow.
Cool. That's
So-
very cool.
Hadn't
Yeah.
noticed that.
So-
They should get extra publicity for that because, like, every bar that does smoked old fashions, like, uses the.
Liquid smoke and crap.
Well, no. They'll smoke it in the Booker's.
Oh,
container.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like, I feel like they should get extra royalties for.
I don't
Have it
do
on
them
the
for
bar.
one reason. It is back up at the bar. But
Yeah.
I created one out of a cigar box.
There you go. Yeah.
It works out. It works perfect for 2 cocktails. So
He just lights his cigar and blows it in your old fashioned.
exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
Smoked.
Yeah, with your mentioning Booker's 30 year, like, so we ask a lot of times, we'll ask guests, like, give us your three different pours. Your everyday pour, your kind of like special occasion pour that you're not going to have that often, but it's not so expensive that you're willing to indulge. And then your, man, this may be once or twice a year, my very special pour that I'm going to have on a very special occasion.
Sure. So obviously my daily, I don't know why, like I said, I just love the Knob Creek, something cheap, something tastes pretty good, but my every great now and then, probably Weller's 12. I really like that. It's very smooth. And then if on a special occasion, I guess, would probably be, man, I don't know. Because I still haven't opened that Booker's 30 yet, and I'm kind of scared too. I mean, it's
So maybe it's that one.
yeah. That's definitely going to be, if it's the end of the world or time to go, I'm cracking the bottle on
There you
that one
go.
for sure.
All right,
So
fair enough.
I mean, because I've had the Pappies and all that. I mean, and like I said, I think a lot of that stuff is good, but I think a lot of it's overrated compared to a lot of the stuff that's out there that you can find.
Agree.
But like I said, I'm trying to think that I used to like. They had a Magnus cigar blend that was really good.
Oh,
that was
yeah.
probably several
That
years
one
ago.
was actually really
that
good. The
was
cigar batch of
that was probably like
Joseph
my
Magnus.
once
Is
every
that
3 or 4 months. Until
2019 was, I think, one of the best ones, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
2019,
I still got
think
about half a
13
bottle of
was-
that.
2013
They
was
did
really
an
good.
excellent job. They kind of stopped doing it with the newer releases, but you go back to the prior releases, they have tasting notes on their website
Yeah.
that were awesome tasting notes. And
Spot on.
yeah, they were
Yeah.
really good. And I really enjoyed it. Kind of go through and say, okay, I want to go after this blend. And you
Yeah.
got Nancy Fraley rocking it there, and she's awesome. She knows what she's
Some
doing.
of the stuff she's posting now is just making me like drool.
So
Oh.
she found, I don't know if you saw this online, but she found a 17-year-old Barton. It's a hazmat. It's like 150 proof.
Oh, I
And
think
she-
it was higher now. It was like 79%.
May have
or something,
been, yeah.
So it was
So
like 160 almost.
She talked the folks at Magnus not into blending it, but to release it as a single barrel. And I think she actually blended 2, so it's not technically a single barrel, but they're going to release them in 375s.
Oh, nice.
So
I can't imagine what
amazing.
that's going to
if you see those, be on the lookout. They're probably going to never
It's
hit
gonna be a
the
lot,
shelf,
yeah.
but
Sounds like a bottle kill on the show to me.
I would love to try
not mad at that.
17-year-old Barton
Yeah.
juice. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
heck
Like,
yeah.
Oh, man, that'd be great. I can't imagine what that's going to cost.
Oh,
That's
man.
going to be up there.
Yeah.
$200 for a 375.
Probably more than that.
Oh.
I bet it'd be more than that.
All right, we'll split it 4 ways.
When is it supposed to release?
I'm not sure.
I think probably in the fall.
Okay.
It's bottled.
Oh, is it
Should
really?
be being bottled. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I just saw her post the other day when she found the barrel. Well, I'm sure she didn't find it the other day, but that was the post that she made the other day.
I messaged her. I said, I want to be your apprentice, please.
Yes. Yes.
And
Or
then
your
she
sugar
ghosted
daddy,
you.
whatever you need.
Yeah. Then she didn't answer.
She didn't answer.
No.
She liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bert Kreischer, where are you, buddy?
Yeah.
I've been waiting for your call back.
And Jim Gaffigan.
Gosh.
Speaking of reaching out to people, so I'm reaching out people for sponsorships now, man.
Mm-hmm.
I actually got an answer from the Boston Scally Co.
Hell yeah.
So if
They've
you're
actually
watching
been
this-
pretty good about responding.
Yeah, there's
They
like
said-
immediately, like
They
the
said
first
no.
no. The first person that responded was like, "Send us your metrics on all your social channels, your YouTube, all this stuff." And
By the way, tell them to
Let us
look up
know.
my account. I might be keeping them in business right now with
Okay.
all the ones I buy.
so they responded. They were like, tell us about the podcast. Tell us, I was like, we support you guys anyways.
Yeah.
The shop's gonna get a wholesale account, so like Rob probably keeps your lights on anyways. So
Yeah.
all you got to do is open the door, and you'll see, hundreds of thousands of millions. It's not that many, but
No.
there's some.
Well, Jeremy
We
and I,
purchase.
we
We
missed
support.
we missed the memo today on the Scully cap, right?
Well,
Yeah.
look, if we get a sponsor from the Boston Scally Co., you got to wear a Scally.
Is
We
it
will have
Scully
some.
or Scally?
Scally.
Scally. Okay.
Boston
Scally
Scally.
Co. There's a lot on there.
There is. There's some great hats.
I'm
on
gonna
there.
get an American flag Scally for. Oh my God, I have a surprise for you guys.
Oh,
I
I
am
can't
not gonna
wait.
tell you what it is.
I know.
I know what it is.
I know what it is.
You do you?
I saw your picture.
Okay.
Of
No,
both-
no, that's part of it.
Both of them.
That's part
Up
of it.
and down.
Oh shit. Okay.
Uh-huh,
You know
I've
what it
seen
is.
it.
I'm
I
not
know.
telling you guys because I'm just gonna wear it, and then everyone else on YouTube will see it.
You just got to have that. Well,
Does it
I won't go
involve
there.
high
Okay.
heels?
You gonna come out with a kilt on or something?
A kilt. That'd
Pretty
be
damn close.
that'd be
Pretty
great.
damn close. I got a special surprise for next Friday too. I'm also not telling you because I definitely didn't show you that one.
All right, all
Because
right.
I ordered it yesterday, mid drink at the qualifications at the track.
This isn't right, Mike. You're now professional with the man haircut. You know, going by Michael now and all this stuff, and now you're going back to party, Mike.
Mikey likes it. Give it to Mikey. He likes it. I got to add that as a thing on there because
Scott's a new shade of brown. We're gonna have to get.
We actually found it. We picked it out last night. It's
all right. Let's
Lisa
call him
has
and
it.
see if he answers.
It was like it went from barn red or something like that to something brown. This is the new one now. So he's
Jen's Vomit Brown.
Jen's vomit brown.
Hey, I will say the cigar now I'm getting with the Elijah Craig.
Yeah.
A nice like graham cracker note.
Oh,
Which
nice.
I think's really cool.
That is nice. I love when you get graham cracker in a cigar.
Okay.
So you waiting for Scott to answer?
I'm going to call him and see if
Okay.
he answers.
So question for you as he's getting this going too. Oh, let's see how it happens here.
Let's see
Hold
if
on.
he
This is Roy D. Mercer.
He'll be speaking in cursive by this time of day.
Final third
Wait,
cigar.
no,
you
he's
back
not
him,
at
we
the
tag
track.
him?
He's not.
Yeah, he is.
Is he?
Yeah,
there.
he's
Oh,
at the
that's
infield
right.
today.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
I told him I'd call him at 12:30, so he might not answer. He's probably 14 yellow fizzies in.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's up?
Scotty D?
I just got done filming a little video spot. I'm out here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I'm smoking a year of the Ox and
Ooh.
drinking a little bit of Peach Street. So
Peach
it's
Street.
working well.
Nice.
So you haven't killed
Yep.
your case of yellow fizzies yet? You had to move on to Peach Street?
Yeah, I had a couple yellow fizzies yesterday. Obviously, I'm sure everybody saw it was pretty aggressive with some of the drinking at the end of the day. So
Yeah, we killed
I
a
had to
bottle
go
of
a little
Bardstown
slow.
yesterday.
Yeah.
A whole bottle of
Yeah.
Bardstown.
that was a fresh crack, and I got Will sitting right here next to me.
Heck
He's
yeah.
pouring Peach Street shots around for the group. So
Oh,
So is Liesel jumping in some bushes today too, or is that just yesterday?
that was just yesterday, but we're waiting to see. She's pacing herself well right now, and her legs don't look too scratched up. But yeah, we'll see. She's probably going to end up doing barrel rolls down the hill towards the track, maybe try to climb the fence.
I love it.
You know
Just
where
don't
it
let her go to
takes.
the other side. I want her to end up like that snake.
That's poor snake. Yeah.
What are you
I
doing
know-
down there
I know
today?
you guys. Well, today is qualifying for pole position, the top 12, and also bump day.
There you go.
Where unfortunately one driver will not be running this year's Indianapolis 500.
Uh-oh, who's that?
They will be, well, we don't know yet. So 3 o'clock, they'll start doing the qualifications. They'll actually do the bump day stuff, so we will see. I think that's going to be live on NBC. So you guys there at the lounge should be able to check it out and see who's going to be bumped.
What
Make
time
sure
is
to look
that?
in the infield. I think it's at 3 o'clock.
Okay, we'll get it on.
Right before the Pacers.
Absolutely. There you go. And then make sure and look at the infield. There's 3 white tents all right in a row here at the entrance to turn 3, and that's our setup. We got a grill out here, and we're making hamburgers and hot dogs and drinking whiskey and beer and having a good old time.
Scotty D's compound.
Hell yeah, man! You might go do a little hunting and get you a snake to put on that grill.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we are right here near the snake pit, so you never know. You never know what you might find.
That's awesome, man.
Heck yeah,
How's
man.
Mr. Larson doing?
He's doing just fine.
Good.
Doing just fine. Yep. It's just always a good day to be out here drinking with friends. So
Of
I miss
course.
you guys at the podcast, of course, but
Yeah.
I love the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Oh,
Gotta
yeah,
be out
baby.
here for this.
Oh, we know, brother. Well, while we got you on here, we'll talk about next week. So we're going to be at Lot 6. We're doing a live stream this Friday at 9 a.m. from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time from Scotty D's compound.
Yes.
Absolutely. We're going to have some Bloody Marys ready to go. Rob,
Yeah.
I think you picked a good cigar. What have you got for us to be able to smoke the Bloody Mary?
Yeah, we're gonna be smoking the Crowned Heads Blood Medicine with that. You know, do the whole bloody theme on that one. So we're ready.
That's going to be a good pairing right there, and it's going to be a good show. We're going to have a extra mic and some video set up so we can have some guest speakers. Maybe you guys get a chance to meet Gary. He has a bar that he sets up for free shots for anybody that's walking by.
Yep.
Of course, we got the margarita guys in Lot 6, so it's going to be a hell of a show.
Yeah.
Love it, brother. Well,
Well-
look, you go have a good time out there, man. We'll leave you alone. You keep drinking and be safe, and let's go pay.
Stay
for it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
stay
Sounds
hydrated.
good, guys.
Yeah,
Stay
give the
hydrated.
Yep, will do.
give the crew some love
Absolutely.
for us, man.
Love you, brother. We'll talk to you
bet.
later.
All right.
All right.
See you,
Cheers.
bud. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Scotty D, everyone.
So Scott, he pretty much lives at the tractor in the month of May.
Calling all dog lovers, say hello to Spencer Lee's, offering freeze-dried pet treats, crafted with care and bursting with flavor. Spencer Lee's treats are the ultimate reward for your four-legged friend. Made from single ingredients and freeze-dried to perfection, these treats are packed with all the goodness your pup craves. Be sure to visit Spencer Lee's on Facebook or Instagram for updates and website information.
The whole month.
Living his best life as
Oh,
usual.
he is,
Yeah.
man. He's awesome.
It's hard to keep up.
You'll get to meet him soon.
Okay.
He's a great guy.
I will say it is very hard to keep up with him.
It is.
Yeah.
Because he does pace himself with yellow fizzies, which that's just lighter
It's just
beer.
Miller. Yeah. It's Miller Lights. He calls them yellow fizzies or any other lighter beer.
He had 72 cans for him to drink for 3 days.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Case a
Yeah.
day.
And that's not including all the bourbon and Bloody Marys and all the other stuff.
He can handle it.
He can handle it.
He's a big guy.
I mean, his tagline is what?
I don't think you understand how much I drink.
Exactly.
So did you see our friend we met yesterday, Woodford Woody?
I did. I saw the
So he
pictures.
lives
That's
here.
great.
This guy named Woody.
Yeah, he lives
in
right
Ingalls.
here. It's like, come on, dude. Come on the show with us,
Yeah,
man.
so he brought 1,000 milliliter flask full of Woodford.
Holy shit.
And he's just walking up and down the stands, just
Poured it
handing
for
out
people.
shots. And
Nice.
we gave him a cigar, and he was hanging out with us most of the day. So it was a good time
Awesome.
yesterday. Yeah. Everyone except for Jen. Jen didn't have such a great time. But she had a great time until it was time to leave. And then
How
it
did she do this morning when you took her to the airport?
Not great. She almost missed her flight.
Oh yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah.
I
We
was
were
like, you got to get
wondering-
up. Well, you haven't even finished packing yet. Like,
Scott stopped by here last night. We were talking a little bit, and he said, "Yeah, Jen really tied one on." And I said, "That's going to be a rough flight." He's like, "Yeah, I think it's going to be a rough flight."
yeah, she was napping. So she made it to Florida at like 8:30 this morning. So
Oh man.
she was napping for a little bit.
she
but-
working or is she?
Yes,
Okay.
work like
Work
annual
thing, okay.
conference or whatever. So
Is there work today?
she has a welcome dinner at 6 p.m. tonight.
Okay, so she's got a little time to sleep on the
Yeah,
beach. Gotcha.
Yeah, so sleep on the beach. Yeah.
By the
right.
way, whenever you guys get done
She's
with
hiding.
next pours, we got more. So just
Perfect.
Just
Yeah,
don't-
we'll move on.
Don't
in just a
nurse
sec.
it.
Let's talk some news, Rob. There was a
Let's
lot
talk
that
some
we added to
news.
this. Like, there was a whole bunch of stuff. And I know we talked about West Fork a little bit. Let's start with that one. They announced a high rye cash strength. So I think it was almost 4 years. I can't remember what it was. I think it was said aged at least 4 years.
Okay.
It was 128 proof. We sampled it at 128 proof. That's what I meant. It's not being. I don't think it's being released that high, but that was the first high rye cash strength that we tried.
Which that was a
straight
winner.
from the barrel.
That was a winner.
Yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
curious to try it from a lower proof. I can't
Yeah.
remember what it's going to be. I think it was around 115,
They
116. maybe.
do so. Their black label's cast strength. Their cream label is always 103.
Okay.
And then I guess I don't remember the third label that would be
Blue, I think,
more
isn't
like
it?
a 90 proof, maybe.
Okay.
And then the bottled and bond.
Yeah, I think 90s where they were
We did
they were
bottled
shooting
bond
for a
too,
lot
so-
of their stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I'm liking a lot of stuff that's coming out of there.
So this is the
from
West
their
Fork.
distillate.
Yeah, this is the West Fork distillate, not the MGP
Yeah.
Hugh
Right.
Hamer line.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good. It's real
Well, and
good.
it's fun to see these distilleries that, obviously, just like Moondrops down the street here, you got a source to get started. And for them doing that and then getting into their own stuff and actually starting to create some fun stuff, I love seeing that. I mean, that's we talk about New Riff all the time.
Yeah.
New Riff was kind of the best. Actually, they're doing the same thing with Old Hammer going to West Fork. You can see the difference with New Riff, changing over from OKI. You know the difference. And you know what it is. It's a new brand. It's a new brand that's branded by them. And I love that idea. And
Heck yeah.
you
Yeah,
got to
talking
start
about
somewhere.
New Riff, old New Riff.
That
is
was a
being
that was a
announced.
that was a
Yeah,
segue right
That's your
there.
nice segue
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
I
you're
love
welcome.
it, brother. I
You're
love
welcome.
it. So
But if I call it out, it's really not that good of a segue, right?
it will be. I'll cut it out. Don't worry about it. So this is a old New Riff. They're doing a dual release. It's going to be a bourbon and a rye, using the heirloom corn and Balboa rye and malted barley, and then the other one is rye.
Okay.
Using their heirloom grains, which is awesome. I love Balboa rye, and I know I've given you some of that. Have you ever tried the Balboa rye?
Yeah, I've had
I
it.
love that.
Yeah.
Have you ever?
It's
good.
Are
I've
you
not
are you a
had
New Riff fan? Have you ever had any New Riff?
I have nothing. I haven't had the rye though, so
have to bring you some of that. The Balboa rye is amazing. Every time we go to Elite, Jen's like, I think we might need another Balboa. And I'm like, we have 7. She's like, but get it, because, like, we never see it. And I'm like, but, okay.
But we have 7.
Okay, whatever. I got it. It's cool. I got enough. Like, so now we can drink all the mint juleps that Jen wants, because that's her go-to.
Ah, there you go. There you go.
But the price point was like $54, $55, somewhere in that range, which is cool. I think it'll be released next week. Yeah, Thursday, May 23rd, the Whiskey Club will get their emails for that. So I'll try not to miss that one, because the last, like, 4 releases they did, I've missed and had to pay dearly to find it elsewhere. Like, the Sour Mash Single Malt was $95 at Elite, and it was $69 at the distillery. But I was like, I missed it. I'll try it. So it was pretty good. And I know you tried that one too.
Yeah.
So that one's really cool. I really like New Riff stuff. So I'm trying to get in with them too. I send them an email. So
that'd be fun.
Anyone from New Riff, you're listening to this. Turn out listening to this. But
Now, do you guys drink any of the 1792 stuff?
I love 1792.
Yeah.
We were talking about the 225.
I like the
yesterday.
foolproof stuff. I'm not a big fan of the regular release stuff.
So the bottled and bond to me is like a heavy banana note on the 1792, and I'm not a huge fan of that one, because I'm not big into like banana flavored things or banana in general. But the 225th was really good. The 10-year was good. The sweet wheat was really good.
Yeah,
I think that might have been one of the first wheats that I tried, like before I even had Weller or Larceny or any of the other wheats. I think that might have been one of the first ones I had, and it was pretty good.
Yeah, I get that banana note quite often. It's just
So
it's their
strong.
yeast strain they use.
Yeah.
It's so strong.
You know, but I love it. I love the full proof. That's kind of my
yeah.
I got a couple store picks, Liquor Barn store picks. I got a Cox store pick.
I got one from the old Vine and Table.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
Good.
that's good stuff. What's your favorite 1792 then?
Probably the sweet wheat.
Sweet wheat.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know you don't see that one a lot anymore.
No.
Like,
No.
that
So
was a hard one to
I'm
find
hearing a
originally.
theme here. You said you're not really big on the weeders, but a lot of these are weeders you're talking about.
The more I talk, I'm giving myself away here. So I think
we
I
were
got
the
it.
same
Real,
way.
That one.
honestly, my sweet wheat. So
Yeah, we were the same way. Like me and Rob were not huge into wheat until we started trying like the Whiskey Acre stuff that's mostly wheated. And then we got trying other things. You know, the Ben Holiday has a wheat, and like that one's
Very
really
good.
good.
Yeah.
So
The
we're
Larceny barrel proof
Larceny,
stuff.
like we're
Fantastic.
expanding more as we understand like the different mash bills and appreciate the grains more. Like, you know, may not be for us, but we understand why they're doing what they're doing and why they're trying the thing. So like, it may not beat our jam. Like, it's not what we're gonna drink every day, but it's good. It's not a drain pour.
Well, when we went over to West Fork, Blake brought out a sample from a barrel of a Bloody Butcher wheat.
Oh.
And we tried that, and actually that was my winner of the day. It was
We need that one.
really good.
That or the
at
Green
cast
Oaxaca.
strength. I don't know what that would do if you proofed it down.
I
I
don't
don't know if it'd be as good, but man, it was great at cast strength. So
that's why I'm super excited to try some of their bottled products that from their distillate, because we've had the privilege to try
out of the
most of
barrels.
them out of the barrel
Yeah.
and some of their finished stuff out of the barrel. So I'm super excited to try some of their stuff bottled.
Yeah, me too.
To see how it changes, since we have already experienced the straight from the barrel product. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what they come up with. So
Same.
that's a cool thing. So
Yeah, do you guys think it's hard going down from that to an actual bottle pick when you've actually had it straight from the barrel? Do you think it's just
absolutely.
more of a
Yeah, absolutely. Because, you know, we chase the proof. A lot of the people in this area, you know, in our circle, chase proof too. So it's really hard to get into something that they proof down to like 94,
Right.
Because it changes so much.
Well, we get it, because like when we were talking to Whiskey Acres, they're like, you know, yeah, we proof some of this stuff down, but we're also kind of nervous about the price point. And they were releasing their new corn strain, which they've done put a ton of money on there. Like, yeah, I mean, we're probably going to be getting it up there pretty high, like $74. We're like, dude, that's nothing.
Oh, he was heartbroken. Like,
He
the
was
owners were like
heartbroken.
heartbroken that they had to raise their prices
Yeah.
that high.
Yeah.
We were like, I'll buy 5 of those.
Yeah.
Like right now,
$74
please.
isn't anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
for
Yeah.
cast drink, something special. I mean,
And some
all
of them were
day.
like the finish or the hybrid stuff. They were like, yeah, it's going to go up to 75. And we were like, well, like, look at Starlight.
yeah.
Over 100 for most of their finishes now, 110, 115.
Are they really getting
Some
that
of them
high?
are, yeah.
Holy crap.
All the 4 rows of single barrels are over $100 now.
Yeah,
Wow.
the picks that are at like
Yeah.
125 for Four
Yeah.
Roses now. Like,
They're
are
all-
we-
they're all
Wow.
over
That's what I was going to bring up. Like, we haven't even discussed really Four Roses, but you hardly see, you can't find them. I mean, it's and to get in there to actually do a pick now, I mean, they're years out, I think. So
Yeah.
I mean,
I know.
it's impossible to even get in there.
yeah,
so.
it's. I don't drink a lot of Four Roses.
I don't
anymore.
either. The only one I've ever really, I mean, I would actually love to get, but I ended up buying it for this guy over here because,
Singuero.
you know, he's pretentious. He wants his, good stuff. But no, it's the OESK bottle from
great,
Elite.
Yeah.
And you shared me a pour of that. Thank you,
great.
by the way. And it was the only Four Roses I've ever had. I'm like, I love that one. That's great.
The OESV was okay.
I don't know if I've had that one or not.
I might.
I may
a little
have.
bit of that
I've
left.
got one from Berlin that I haven't cracked yet from last year. Just haven't had. a
It
chance
definitely
to
makes
try
me
it
want
yet.
to try more of their picks because, I've never really liked Four Roses. I just don't like that floral kind of thing that a lot of their stuff does. But the picks are actually good. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like New Riff. A lot of the New Riff picks I really like, but some of the regular release stuff, I'm just not, it's okay. And,
Yeah,
but
their
I've not
rides-
had, and some of their higher end, like the Balboa and stuff like that. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, but most of the other rides, other than like the heirlooms, go way minty, and I think that's why.
That's why I don't
a lot
like
of
it. I'm not
'cause you're
mint, yeah.
a mint fan.
Did
so-
they-
Exactly.
Did Four Roses come out with a couple new recipes? Am I right on that? Or somebody
Man,
did?
I wish
Yeah.
I knew because I just don't follow Four Roses
Yeah.
like I do
Feel like
everyone
somebody
else.
did.
I know they put out a taster set that had all the different ones that they had.
Had all
They
of them.
did.
Yeah.
Had all-
That
I
was
think you
pretty
get it
cool.
at like Meyer. I mean, you get it about anywhere, I think. But actually, no, I sold it. Like we were down in Louisville, and it was they had one. I mean, they had Weller on the shelf. They had
They-
Pat. I mean, of course, it was museum prices a lot of it. But I mean,
Yeah.
It was
you know,
Justin's.
Yeah. So, but they had I think it was like $75, and there was like 12 different ones
Yeah.
you could try.
You could try them. They're all proof to 100, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Okay.
Reminds me of
So-
the little piggies from.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, speaking of Justin's, have you heard any more about?
I have not. I
Okay.
forgot to follow up on that. I'll check in.
I
and
kind of
we'll
felt like when
check
they
in
fought
next week.
back, everyone's like, we're gonna stop talking about this.
They,
it's old news.
It's
they-
old news
they
now.
hit a stop.
Yeah.
Well, there's other things to worry about, like Scotty Scheffler getting arrested. But,
Yeah, exactly.
You don't need to talk about Justin's House of Bourbon getting sued, but whatever.
Oh,
Legal
gosh.
news.
Legal news.
I'm gonna let Will talk about this. Did you read the article?
No.
Did you read the article about the Department of Labor one?
I read the Department of Labor one.
Okay.
Yeah. Are
Talk
you talking
that a
about,
little bit.
talking about
yeah,
with
Mega
Mega?
Liquors.
Yeah, so basically the Department of Labor filed a cease and desist against Mega Liquors and the owners of Mega Liquors, which is a liquor store chain that is up in northern Indiana. There are a
Yeah,
couple
Fort
down
Wayne,
this
too.
way. I think there's one in Greenwood too. But they stretch up into Michigan as well. Essentially, the Department of Labor alleges that the owners basically withheld wages and threatened the employees to sign paperwork basically releasing them from additional wages that they felt they were owed. There was intimidation tactics that they alleged were used, and it sounds pretty bad. I don't know if you've ever been into Mega Liquors.
I have a couple
but
of them. One in
I've
Fort
never
Wayne, one in Greenwood.
They,
Yeah.
They're one of those, what do you call it, museums for all of their allocated stuff.
Yeah.
Way overpriced, way higher than secondary.
All the stuff they're
prices.
selling is like Crown Apple, Crown
But,
Peach.
but
shit
they
like
have
that.
a lot of allocated bottles on the shelf. They're just priced over secondary. So
Yeah.
my suggestion is maybe you guys sell those and pay your guys, pay your employees, instead of letting them sit up
Yeah.
there and collect dust, and
Yeah.
maybe get one or two people that have more money than God to come in to buy those things
Yeah.
to actually do something.
That's
So
just never made sense to me. It's like you
I
put a
know.
bottle of Pappy 15 for $2,000 on a shelf and it sits there for 5 years and you finally sell it. Like
Yeah.
you could have sold 50 of those at a decent price and made more money and paid your people and not had inventory sitting there collecting dust.
Yeah,
It
most
makes
of the
no
other
sense.
places, they're just, they're the ones that like, oh, you can come here and see it. Like,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
cool that we got it
Who
on the shelf.
cares?
Like, yeah, you got
Charge admission.
I mean, I don't know about you guys.
900
I
cases
go
of
into
Fireball.
I go into a place like that and I see the stupid prices. I don't even look at their other shit. I'm like, no, I'm not even going to
Either.
support you
Yeah.
on that
Yeah.
stuff. I'm not going to go over and buy the Benchmark Full Proof,
Right.
even if it is
Boy, and they're
15
$30
bucks.
for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's this word, it's called karma.
exactly.
And karma
It's a
is not
bitch.
their boyfriend.
No.
Nope.
Nope.
She is a bitch.
So that that kind of sucks because like those are the places you walk into and like you'll see Buffalo Trace for like $45.
Yeah.
It's just regular Buffalo. It's a
Well,
$24
you'll
bottle.
see an E.H. Taylor small batch for $200. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
that's
absurd.
insane.
Well-
I miss seeing small batch for $45
Right.
every day.
Well, we've been talking about this for months, but I have started seeing more people saying they're finally starting to see more Eagle Rare, more Blantons on the shelves. It's like we knew it was
Meyer.
coming.
Yeah,
It
Meyer
had
and
to
Target.
come. There's too much product out there for them not to be releasing more of it.
So
Yeah.
again, these are all allegations. I don't know if anything's been proven in a court of law yet. So I do empathize with the employees though, because at the end of the day, they're the ones that always end up getting shafted on
Exactly.
these things.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if they weren't paid wages, they deserve them and they should be paid appropriately.
100%.
That's how I feel about it.
100%.
And then,
Yes.
Rob, did you read the article about the Minneapolis cigar shop with the 15-minute smoking law?
I did. I didn't go all the way to the end because it was a very long article.
It
But
is
basically, it's this.
wild.
I feel like what this is. Okay, let me back up. Minnesota has, or was it Minneapolis?
It's Minneapolis.
Minneapolis has one cigar lounge that you can smoke in. That's it, one. And I have a feeling that the town has fought with him forever about smoking inside. That's why the local governance said, you know what? We're going to let you go ahead and smoke inside, but you have to smoke your cigar in 15 minutes and you have to leave. So you got 15 minutes to smoke cigar. There's no cigar that you can smoke except for maybe a cigarillo that's going to be 15 minutes.
Right.
So here's what
Yeah,
I'm going to
sampling.
do. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to
Just
light up
switch your
my
sweet.
cigar. I'm going to smoke it for 15 minutes. I'm going to walk outside
Yeah.
and I'm going to walk back in and smoke it for another 15 minutes.
yeah.
And then I'm going to walk back outside and I'm going to smoke it for another fucking 15 minutes until I'm finished.
But it makes
So it's-
absolutely no sense. It's not.
It's Anthony's Pipe and Cigar Lounge is the place.
Yep.
And the amendment says customers can spend a maximum of 15 minutes during a single visit or a maximum of 15 minutes during any 60-minute period when sampling a cigar.
Sampling.
So even if you go outside, so that's 45 minutes in. So if it's in a 60-minute visit, you have 15 minutes to sample your cigar. You do what you said. You leave.
But
You come back 45 minutes later, you get another 15 minutes. So
Wow.
you get an asylum, you
So,
can go in and out.
This is
twice.
where I think they could, if they wanted to fight it, which they're going to have to.
They have
I
to.
think this is the way they get around it because it's illegal to sample cigars out. They're calling it sampling.
Well, that's
All they have to
true.
do is go back and say, we can't legally sample, so we're going to allow our customers to actually smoke their cigars because they're not sampling.
Then they'll come down with the band hammer and just say, fine, no smoking.
I know they will.
So are they not allowed to smoke in bars down there? Or
Oh, God, no.
No.
Yeah.
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 No
There-
smoking indoors. Like
There's been a lot of
almost
crazy shit.
anywhere in Minnesota.
I mean, hell,
so-
there's states that have already been putting legislation out trying to stop and not allow anybody after a certain date of their birth to be able to buy tobacco products for the rest of their life. I'm like, okay, again, we're adults. We know what risks we take when we smoke cigars, or even if you're a cigarette smoker, you're taking a lot more risk with that, obviously. We're adults. Deal with it. You know, it is what it is.
Right.
That's awful. So I hope the best for them. I hope they do fight that.
I do
Me
too.
Me too.
That sucks. I mean, like you go to Louisville, they can't smoke inside anywhere. in
No.
Louisville. Like you got to go to Lexington or out of the.
Well,
Area.
there
Across the river.
there is a
So-
cigar lounge opening up in Louisville that
Oh, that's right, the private one. It's pay to play type place.
I'm telling you, man.
I forgot the. Do you remember the name of that one?
I don't. I know the guy. He's good friends with Trey Mack.
Okay.
I'll find out what his
Yeah,
name
it's
is
just
in the
a,
shop.
it's a club lounge, pretty
Yeah.
much. Like it's
Well, and-
pay to play. You get a locker and you get to smoke inside because it's a
Right.
private.
It's a private
private
lounge.
lounge.
Yeah, which that's the way to get around it. I've also seen shops basically charge a membership fee to go smoke back there when you come. So it could be. I mean, you could literally just charge $1 and say,
I was gonna say,
you're a
is there
member.
fee? Like, is there a minimum fee on that, or is it just like
Nope, but
So
that's
whatever you
But you
decide
know
to
that's
do.
where they'll go eventually.
So
like a
vape
cigar
shops,
club, a
yeah.
personal
Yeah.
So
cigar club.
vape shops did that. Whenever I know vaping's still kind of big, but 5-6 years ago, whenever all the legislation was up in the air with smoking inside at vape shops or vaping inside, part of it was sampling the products, and that was a big issue. Was they used to just have like a tasting bar where you could just like try all these different vape flavors. You get a disposable tip or whatever, and then you do that. At least in Kentucky, I don't know about this area. The problem was that you couldn't do that for free. So like you would have to give them like a penny or something to like
Yeah.
Because nicotine you can't give out for
you
free.
buy your little reusable tip or whatever for a penny or a nickel or whatever it was. So like maybe that's the thing is maybe they consider themselves a private lounge and you give them $1 or whatever to be able to smoke inside. For
I wonder if they could do
17
that up
minutes.
in Minnesota. Maybe they would allow them, if they did that, just turn themselves into a social lounge.
Yeah. Like, so, you know, Larry over there at Maduro, like he doesn't smoke in the front. Shout out Larry and Maduro on Main. You can't smoke in the front. That's where the humidor is. He sells a lot of clothes, shirts, apparel.
But he's also connected right with the ice cream shop with an open door, so you can't smoke up there
because it's, you know, impeding other businesses. So he's got a lounge in the back.
Yeah.
I always make fun of him because it was like smoking in an Ashley Furniture. It's really nice lounge, really nice couches, really private. It's just like being in an Ashley Furniture.
Well,
so
CarMax
like maybe
is
it's
the
like
same
that.
Yeah, Carmex is a little bit bigger in the back. I think Larry's got maybe 7, 8
outside
cigars.
downtown Noblesville, right? Yeah, I don't.
I have. I mean, I've walked around the square with a cigar before. I never got. But I think you're right. I think there is no smoking
Legally,
down. I think legally you're not supposed to. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure there's ways around it. Like, you know, get a patio or something like. Because most places I go to, like out of this area, like I always look for a patio, especially around this time of year. Like if you got a patio attached to you that isn't just a chair on the front lawn, like I'm going.
Well, and
I'm
that's
hanging
why
out.
if you're in a southern state that you have 10 months out of the year that's nice. I mean, yeah, you could do this. I mean, you have an indoor shop and go out, sit outside, man. I mean,
yeah, or you go to
who didn't want to sit
Minneapolis where
outside?
you could be outside for 2 months of the year.
Or, yeah, about that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably not the best thing, but when I was younger, I take my kids into CarMax with me, not to sit there and smoke, just to go get cigars, but I'd get them a bubblegum cigar while they were there.
Yeah.
And you know, we're in there 5 minutes.
Yeah.
In and out.
Well, and again, they will smoke up toward in the front of their shop a little bit, but most of the smoking is going on in the back.
Back, right.
So they got all their chairs back there, the TVs and the bar back there and stuff. So
heck yeah.
Rob, pass that C923.
Oh yeah, look at that. I'm out of bourbon.
Again.
So while you're pouring that,
there you go.
I saw the other day that Tatawahe, we've been talking about them a lot because
shout out to Pete. We're gonna have him on the show here soon. I need to.
Be awesome,
I just have to call him. I'll call him, and when we have an open date, we'll get him on the show.
Cool. Yeah, that'd be great. They're opening or they're building a second warehouse in Doral, Florida.
Yes.
Where is that? That's like right outside of Miami, right?
I think so.
It's
I mean, it would make
inland.
sense. Everything's around Miami down there,
so
or
that's
Tampa.
cool.
Yeah.
That's Bert Kreischer's favorite cigar.
Is it?
Yeah, Tatawahe.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe we get some Tatawahes in here, and then Bert Kreischer will actually answer you.
Once I get some room, I'm actually going to add that to the line. I never really smoked a whole lot of Tatawahe because there just wasn't a lot of them around here. I mean, like you mentioned, CarMax, they used to have a few of them in there, and I think last time I was there, this has been a while because I don't go anywhere anymore, but I think there was maybe 1 or 2 they had. But I smoked, I think, 8 different ones up there with him. Every one of them was great. I'm like, all right, these are cigars we need to bring in here. I think they would definitely fit our crowd that likes the more full-bodied stuff. So we'll get them in here.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. I haven't had a lot of Tatawahe stuff. Have you ever?
I haven't. No.
I think
It's just random where you find them. Well, and that's like here in Indiana, Rudy's, again, shout out to Rudy's. They're the number 1 selling Tatawahe, I think maybe in the Midwest, if not definitely Indiana. Sales of all Tatawahe.
Lounge, or they just have a lot?
Nope, they just sell a lot of it, and they have events with him. They had Pete up for the train event up there a couple weeks ago, and
interesting.
So yeah, really good shop up there for the Tatawahe line stuff.
Did you go by at PCA to check Tatawahe out? Or?
I did not.
I was just curious if they had any new releases this year.
I did not get a chance to see them. No, no.
We'll have to check in with that when we connect with Pete and see if there's anything new coming from them, because that'd be cool.
For sure,
Get some new stuff, something different,
Yeah.
The newest thing in the humidors, obviously, the Padron stuff. So,
yeah,
it's always cool to see new facings in there. But, obviously, as we get new stuff in the humidor, things have to phase out because you can't keep everything. If you bring in everything, then you run out of space.
Exactly.
And you're going to oversaturate.
Well, and, like we were talking about the Blood Medicine. Blood Medicine from Crowned Heads has always been an event-only cigar, so you can only get those by buying a box of cigars at an event. They're releasing at least a limited edition, a limited release of it to sell on the shelves. So we will be getting, I got the maximum amount of boxes I could get. Those will sell by the box. So if you want some of those, come in here and get some of those because they are fantastic cigars.
Love them. Love them. Rob, pass me one of those 601s. I know you brought some extras out here, so
Oh, yeah.
we're going a little long today. It's not that long, but
We got to talk about Weller too.
let's
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
about Weller.
Yeah, we brought up a high dollar bottle earlier. Let's hear about this. We're all going to go get in line to buy one of these.
and
all
Jeremy's
of
a
us.
Weller fan, so
Yes, so
I'm
I've
hoping
already got
that
mine
you saw
pre-ordered.
this. Yeah.
pre-order, baby. Second mortgage on the house. So Will tell us about that. You know a little bit more about than I do.
I mean, so they came out with this announcement. Was it this week or last week?
I think it was last week when they
Yeah.
announced this bottle.
So just
The
on
new
their
unobtained. I mean,
just on their website. So basically, Weller came out with Millennium, which is a blend of straight bourbon and wheat whiskeys. So it is wheat whiskey and bourbon blended. It has basically ages anywhere from 2000, distilled in 2000, 2003, 2005, and 2006.
Okay.
So I think the youngest aged bourbon in there is 16 years.
Okay.
Wow.
It's proof to 99 proof. That does not excite me.
No, that's
And
sad.
what really doesn't excite me is the suggested retail price of $7,500
No.
a bottle.
But
Excited about that.
Do we have any soundbite that says you suck?
Oh, let's see.
let's
What do we have?
Let's
in
go
here?
through them.
We
Maybe
got
a
it.
F you,
We got
Joe
this
Boo?
one. It's the I'm an asshole. We got that one.
You know, help me now. Fuck you, Joe Boo.
Yeah. So fuck you, Joe Boo.
Hey,
Fuck you, Joe Boo.
Sorry, Sazerac.
Sorry,
I gotta fuck you, Joe Boo. It's a
Fuck you, Joe Boo.
Sazerac.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's wild. I mean,
That is wild. Now
that
I will
reminds me of
say
the Woodford bottle. That's $15,000.
I will speak for the entire group up here. If you got a bottle and you bring us a sample, we'll try it.
Oh, we will for sure. Yeah, we just can't.
We ain't
afford
buying
to
it, but
go
we'll
get
try it.
It's like, that's crazy.
We're a donation-friendly podcast. so-
Exactly. Yep.
So, what are
did
your
you
thoughts on that?
I think it's ridiculous. I don't think you're going to be able to find any anyway. So it's kind of like the double rare, the Eagle Rare double rare. I mean, what is it?
Oh, the double Eagle Very
$10,000
Rare. Yeah,
or something like that. A bottle. So
$9.99.
yeah.
Same thing with like the old fashioned copper. Like it's
It's
11
either
grand.
that's either going to happen or everybody that sells a lot of Weller's going to get a bottle and it's going to sit on the shelf for freaking years
Yeah.
because no one's going to buy it.
I think I'm gonna go. It tastes just like Traveler.
blended by Chris Stapleton's
No,
publicist.
I haven't had that. How is that? Is that?
It's not bad, but
It's
I mean,
whiskey.
like for the price,
Yeah.
I'd rather just have regular Buffalo Trace. I think it's regular Buffalo Trace is
Yeah,
better,
'cause
and it's
what was
less
it, Travelers?
expensive.
It was
yeah.
like $45, $50.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's-
Yeah,
it's
they've
blended
also
At the highest.
they add color to it to actually
Yeah.
darken it up a
It's-
little bit. It's not.
it's
yeah.
got
who,
some
who makes theirs? The Traveler.
it's Buffalo Trace.
Oh, do they do
Yeah.
But isn't
for
it Canadian? The guy that was selling
It
it
was a Harlan.
told me it's actually Canadian whiskey.
Was the Caribou Crossing rebottled?
Yeah, but it could be, but it's still
It
owned
could
by
be
Sazerac.
right.
Yeah, I mean,
Canadian
yeah.
whiskey with added color,
it's got Harlan's
releasing
name
it
on
as Traveler in Kentucky.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's some neutral grain spirit in there.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, they tried 17 or 43 different versions of Traveler before they came out with, I think it was number 17 or 21. They all said wasn't too shitty. So
Yeah, that's
a
the
good
lead.
review. I
It's
like
kind of
that
like voting for the president. We'll vote for the lesser of the two evils.
I got one when we were down at Bourbon 30 I was with Indiana Small Batch in January. It had just released, and so they had it in the gift shop, and I went in right before we started blending over at Bourbon 30. If you don't know, Bourbon 30 is it is a distillery now. They have their own small still, but they do a blending experience where you can go and you can blend different barrels and you can basically create your own bourbon or rye or light whiskey. It's really cool. They're right across the street now from Buffalo Trace, which is
nice.
crazy for them.
I want to hear Mike tell the story
But
about
we'll
this
let
too.
Mike go there.
Yeah,
That's just my segue into that.
Yeah.
This was my first time going to Bourbon 30.
we'll let him finish what he's talking about first.
finish
Yeah.
up. I'll get to it.
But basically, to cut back to Traveler, I got a bottle when I was down there, and I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's just something.
Don't buy it on secondary.
Oh,
Oh, God,
please,
no.
no.
Don't pay
It's
$100
everywhere.
for it.
There's
Now it's
cases everywhere.
But
Yeah.
back then it was
$39 at Kroger. Like,
Yeah,
go to
It-
which
Kroger.
is still overpriced.
It's okay. I just think it's okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it's terrible.
I think what that is, that's a bottle. If you're a Stapleton fan, get a bottle for your shelf.
Yeah.
That's
Whatever.
it. I mean, it's not.
not
I
even
did.
spelled
I
the
did
same.
have one guy come in that he asked me about it and he loved it. I'm like, good for you. You're probably gonna be able to get that any time of the day now. you have a bottle you enjoy. That's great. But for me,
Well,
Yeah, he didn't walk in the door, ask
I have-
for it, and Rob was like, "No, I'm not giving it to
when
you."
we have parties and get-togethers at the house, I'm like, hey, anybody want to try Chris Stapleton's whiskey? And I'm trying to get rid of the bottle.
Yeah. But it's like Basil Hayden too. It's like one of those things that's like a little bit lighter. It's not awful, but for the non like bourbon drinker, like it's
You're right.
another good.
or someone getting
offering,
into
like,
whiskey.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It's got a celebrity name, so like you think it's cool. Like you know,
I would recommend. I mean, we talk about these different ones. Don't take our word for it, man. If
Yeah.
you get a chance to go to a bar and they got something that you're wondering about, get a pour of it and try it. I mean, you never know. You might find something you absolutely love. I'm sure there's people out there that absolutely hate Benchmark Foolproof. I freaking love it,
That's
especially
fine,
it's
yeah.
15 to 20
Yeah.
bucks. He's like, I'm ready to buy that every
a
day.
bottle, not a pour.
A bottle. Yeah, yeah.
Like, that's the
Yeah.
best part about that.
So I mean, I'm sure people hate it, and that's great.
I love that.
Yeah,
All right,
so-
so I went down with Indiana Small Batch to Jay Mattingly
Bourbon
Bourbon 30,
30, yeah.
and it was kind of interesting because now they're right across the street. Their new facilities right across the street from Buffalo Trace. So you're
Shadows of the castle coming over.
so you're driving down and you start seeing those brown signs, like the tourism signs, and it's there's 2 or 3 others, and there's Buffalo Trace, and then right underneath Buffalo Trace is J. Mattingly 1845 Distillery. But it's like, the normal one is like, 4 feet wide by a foot tall, and then J. Mattingly's is like 3 times the size of that. on the
Yeah,
bottom.
it's great. We love it.
So we're like, oh, that's cool. Their sign's bigger than Buffalo Trace. We get closer. Go around the corner. You see this big yard sign. It's probably, 10 by 20, just a yard sign that says J. Mattingly 1845 Distillery. Nice right arrow pointing to the right. Or you turn down Riley Road or Riley Lane, whatever it is. You see all these orange trailers. That's all you can see. Just orange and white trailers in the parking lot. And you turn around the corner, and there's J. Mattingly. You can't see it from the road.
Cannot see it at all.
Can't see
Wow.
it. So apparently, whenever Bourbon 30 bought this property, Buffalo Trace used to park their trailers in their back lot, which was behind the building, not on the front road.
Right.
And so they bought the building. They told Buffalo Trace that they had to move the trailers because they needed it for parking. Because there's like a CrossFit place behind there too, which has a lot of foot traffic apparently. And then all of the guest parking for J. Mattingly Bourbon 30. So apparently, Buffalo Trace bought the lot in between Bourbon 30
wow.
and the roadside. So now all their overflow trailers are parked in between them, and
can't see it,
they
yeah.
boxed them in.
Oh,
So-
wow.
So their answer was putting up this ginormous sign that is bigger than Buffalo Trace's to go. So like the feud on this is just hilarious.
It is. You got big dog
Yeah.
and little guy,
And then the little blender.
and the big dog's the one happened to fight it.
Yeah.
it's so funny.
You're so threatened. Like it's such a different thing. Like
It is.
it
Honestly,
poses
it's
no
good
threat
for
to their
both.
business.
It's good for both.
Well, yeah, it's a good story when you walk in there too. Like
But you go into Buffalo Trace, and they close down at what 5 or 6.
yeah, it's early.
You can still go over there and blend a bottle after that, or you go there and you're like, oh hell, Buffalo Trace is right here. Let's go see what.
And that's a lot of the
It's
times
gonna
too. Like the
support each
groups
other.
that go down there to Bourbon 30 are going to go to Buffalo Trace
Well, hell yeah.
first,
Yeah.
because they opened before Bourbon 30.
I mean,
does, so-
I'm not saying Buffalo Trace is getting a lot more business because they're there, but they're getting more.
Well, what it is, heaven forbid, you're a tourist, you're here visiting the Bourbon Trail, or you're passing through, you stop, you get in this godforsaken line at Buffalo Trace. You want to get a bottle of Blanton's or E.H. Taylor or Eagle Rare, whatever the hell they got that day.
Yeah,
And you get up to the front of the line and they come and they take the sign and they flip it over.
yeah.
And then it's like, okay, I go in, what do I buy? Bourbon cream, Buffalo Trace.
we're out of
Yeah.
Blanton's.
God
Here's
forbid,
some Wheatley.
vodka,
Yeah.
that's not great. Or
Vodka.
hey, you know what? I can go across the street now and I still have a great experience. And my whole experience with Buffalo Trace isn't necessarily as tarnished as it would have been if I didn't get my bottle. Because now I went over and I blended my own bottle at Bourbon 30.
Yep.
And I've got something unique that I can go back and take and share with my friends that I created myself. Sorry, but you can't do that at Buffalo Trace,
Yeah.
But
The
I
blended root's
think
super
that
cool.
if I'd gone to wait to try to get an allocated bottle and I didn't get it, but I had the opportunity to go right across the street, it's really not killing my time.
Yeah.
And I can go and do that. It's a great thing.
So I
And
think what
what's
we
so-
need to do is start a petition of everybody that goes to Buffalo Trace. The first question you ask is, can we blend like we can at Buffalo or Bourbon 30?
So they get all sorts of whiskey from everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Like, they got Green River stuff. They got Bardstown. They get,
MGP.
don't
They
get
had some
Bardstown.
Heaven Hill stuff there at one point
they
too.
Do they
got-
get Buffalo Trace stuff too?
No,
No.
it's
Okay,
usually MGP, sometimes Green River.
When we were there, they had that one Heaven Hill barrel.
Yeah. And they had Green River.
Where are they getting their light whiskey from?
MGP.
Is it MGP?
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
99.1
Had
Mashville.
some
I gotcha.
great stuff.
Oh
last
my
year.
So
God.
we went down. Mike went with us at Indiana Small Batch. We took one of our customers, which is Bobo Link Liquors in Rushville.
Shout out to those boys.
Shout out to Tony and the guys. Those guys did a great job with their picks. I think they went in thinking they were going to do another bourbon pick, and they ended up doing a rye and a light whiskey, which I loved them both, but the light whiskey that they blended was
Killed it.
just phenomenal.
The rye
Excellent.
blend was like Aaron said it was like a cherry cola.
Cherry
wow.
cola.
So it
Which
made
is
me
still
think
great.
Of like you remember the root beer barrels?
Oh,
like the little
yeah.
hard
Love
candies?
those things.
It made me think of like the cherry barrel, like
yeah.
that. It was that
Yeah.
kind of like
Okay.
almost like a flat cola.
Yeah.
So like it was pretty good.
Then
It was
the
interesting.
light whiskey was just these great whiskey notes, but also you get a really strong you get the rum spice from rum notes. Again, not finished in a rum barrel.
Yeah, but almost like coconutty.
Coconut, and I
Oh.
almost got like a tropical fruit note, like some pineapple.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
Pineapple,
subtly,
coconut.
but just very tropical palate. And the finish was
Amazing.
long and strong. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really great. So I'm excited for those guys, and I'm sure it's going to sell well for their.
Well, when those come out,
Constituents
we should get a bottle and bring them on the show.
Yeah, we'll get it.
That'd be kind of fun to try.
Rob,
The
I'd sure
turnaround is
love for
super
you to
quick.
get one. I think.
Oh,
you'd
I'm going
love
to again. Yeah, I was supposed to be on that pick, and I think I got sick or something that day.
Well, maybe we do a Jeremy collab here, and we'll do a
There you go.
bourbon 30 bottle with
There we go.
Jeremy.
See, and that's
over
the
there.
nice thing too. You go down and blend, and then you're like, how many cases do you want? You don't have to buy
You can get
200
one.
bottles.
Yeah, you get one.
You can buy a few cases to sell. I mean, obviously with the
Yeah.
club, you could probably get
If you go with
5,
Indiana,
10 cases. You're still
Yeah.
getting 60 bottles
If
or
you
more.
go with small batch, we usually do 10 case,
10 cases.
10 case minimum, but
60
you can
bottles
split that
should
with
not-
whoever you want to. Yeah.
Well, and 60 bottles for a club, like yours, is
You can-
there
you
should
can
be
get
no
to
issue
that.
to get rid of
No.
those. No.
Yeah, between that and the bar, like
Now I will say the one thing, you're getting some stupidly good pours, but you're talking. It's above the $100 price point. But again, it's something special you picked, and it's really good. It's very good.
you can name your pick.
Yeah.
You've got custom bottles, custom wax designs.
labels.
Thank God they finally put the tear tab on the.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
bottles.
because their wax is super thick. Like
It is.
it's tater wax for sure.
wow.
Like,
I
Yeah.
almost lost several fingers trying to cut them open.
you got to dip it in a hot vat of water just to get the wax off the top. Like
Okay, so let's
Can't do
before you're done with it, what are you thinking of the C923 right now?
Very good.
You like it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
what do you get out of it? Are you getting anything specific out of there? Because I'm curious to see what your thoughts are compared to our pick. I'm getting a lot of hay out of this one for some reason. Like
I'm not even drinking it
Barnyard.
because I don't like it. So.
I honestly like the first one better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, your guys' pick.
And
I
it's
think-
okay if you say it's the best thing you've ever tasted from Elijah Craig.
Well-
It's totally fine.
My opinion hadn't changed on it. I mean, I do like our pick better, but this isn't the thing that I don't like about the C923 is on the finish. I still get this
Drying.
astringent oak note that kind of hangs out right at the end, man. And
Yeah.
I just like, it's kind of like, oh shit.
Which it makes me wonder if that that one is what, just under 14 years or right around
Ours
13?
was 11.
No,
I
not
think.
theirs.
Yeah,
the
the C923 was.
Yeah.
It was
like
the oldest
12
one they
and a half
put
or
out.
13, yeah.
It almost makes
telling
me
you-
wonder if they've gotten just beyond their maximum aging
I'm
point.
telling you, man, when you get over 10 years with Elijah Craig, it's a crapshoot.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I mean, I think the best bottles are in that 9-year.
What was ours? 10.6?
Ours was
10,
just
6.
under
10.6. So yeah,
It
it was
was-
just under 11.
Actually, when they bottled it was about a month under 11.
Okay.
So,
So-
This one's spicier
Yes,
than
I
ours.
think so.
And then there's just that oak note, and it's just not my jam for the
Super
oak
oaky.
part. Yeah.
Super
Yeah.
oaky.
Yeah, I just think it's.
which again, I
kinda
do
drying
think for
on
the people
palate,
that do like that very oak tannic kind of thing going, I'm sure you're going to love it.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's
Just
not my-
most of us, at least, are a little oak sensitive to some of those things, and I think this
Yeah.
might fall in that category, like an over oak product.
Yeah,
so.
there's good oak and there's not so good oak.
I agree.
think, you know?
When
I
it
mean,
starts getting that drying tannic thing, I think it loses me completely.
Speaking of over oaked and oaked products, Aaron showed us a little bit about what they do with their staves, putting them into the barrel to finish some of their whiskeys.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit
Yeah.
about that, because I don't remember 100%.
Aaron is from Bourbon
Bourbon
30.
30.
So
yeah.
So what they do with a lot of their used barrels, they break them down, they cut the staves up, and then they'll introduce some of those into their existing barrels, just to give it a little bit of presence. Now, the good thing about those guys is they're tasting it daily, right?
Yeah.
So
And they sand off most of the char. So, like, they're
They-
just sticking in.
they rechar them, yeah.
They recharge
Yeah,
them,
so,
yeah.
but they'll clean
sand
it
them
off
down and rechar
then
'em.
rechar it.
Yeah.
And then
And I
shove
will
it in
say,
the
man,
barrel.
Aaron is he is a master blender.
100%.
Oh, he's ridiculous.
You go down there and do a blending of your own barrel. Don't finish with what you've done. Ask him his thoughts, and he'll literally say, "You know what? 5% more of this and 5% less of that will make it."
100%.
He does it, and you're like, "Damn, that just went up."
But he'll tell
10
you
notches.
too, like he'll tell you, like, I spent all day yesterday blending this and this and this, and like this was really good, and like that barrel's not great, and like he's super upfront with that. Like he knows what's good, he knows what's not. So like
he's really good
playing
at
with it.
he's really good at making a very well balanced whiskey. So like when I know when I made Hail to the Victors, he's like, it's good, but the finish is just we got to get the finish there. It's just not there 100%. I agreed with him, and we played around with the percentages and got it right, man. And like, all of a sudden you've got this finish popping, and it wasn't a big change, but like he knows those barrels so well that he's just like you said, he's a true master of blending.
Yeah.
And just a very easygoing, easy to work with, easy to talk to guy. So
when you and I went down the first time, and I did the Indy Fuel, and you did the Cocky Wolverine the first time, we were in the same boat. We were like, "This is really good," where we've actually come up with it. And you and I said the same things, like, we don't like that barrel, and we asked him, we said, should we add some of that to this barrel to get the balance? And he's like, it's exactly what you should do. And we did that, and it made them both pop.
There was one barrel they had that this single barrel by itself was over oaked.
Yeah, wasn't that good by itself.
Just too oaky.
Yep.
But in a small percentage in our blends. And the funny thing was, like, Rob and I we pulled from a lot of the same barrels, maybe all the same barrels. I think you did a 4-barrel and I did a 5-barrel. So maybe I had
No, I think I was 5, you were 6.
5 and 6.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So my point is we pulled from a lot of the same barrels. We had 2 totally different whiskeys.
Yeah.
Totally different whiskeys. Yeah, mine was definitely more spicy than yours
Which is what you were going for.
Which I was going for. And
I was going for more of the
mouthfeel.
sweet bourbon kind of notes. Yeah.
They're both really good. You know?
Yeah. Mine's gone.
Mine's a little better.
Mine's gone. Well, mine sold out first, so screw you.
I brought a dump cup for you, Rob, so we can dump that and move on.
So are you guys really big
Ballsy.
Elijah Craig fans or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we talked about we're
Now,
trying to get a toasted barrel pick. So
I will say one thing: the Elijah Craig 18 wasn't my jam.
that was another over oaked one that I
It was
thought.
just a little bit. It just went a little too far.
a little too pungent.
Yeah, yeah. But it was a little too low proof too.
What else did we have? But we had Widow Jane 15 that day too. So like
That's good
comparing the
stuff.
Elijah Craig 18 to Widow Jane 15 was so hard because
It is.
But
It
then
is.
when you look at Heaven Hill 18, which is basically blended cask strength Elijah Craig 18.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not a single barrel, but they took the best of those Elijah Craig 18-year-old single barrels, blended them.
But they proofed it down, didn't they?
Well, it's to 120, right? But
Oh, was it? I thought it was lower than that.
You guys tried it.
Yep.
I mean, you thought it was great, right?
What? The 18?
The 18, the Heaven Hill 18.
Oh,
Heaven
Heaven Hill
Hill
18. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
talking about Elijah Craig.
But it's Elijah Craig 18.
No, I will say the Heaven Hill 18 was delicious.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It is the Elijah Craig mash bill.
It was.
At
Yeah.
18 years. The only difference is they
It's
blended
1.0.
a bunch of single barrels.
and a blend.
Yeah.
And it's higher proof.
Must have
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
you're fine.
I'm-
Yeah, go ahead, man.
My point is that it can be good, but in a single barrel, we all know Elijah Craig 18 is hit or miss.
Yeah.
You can have a phenomenal 18 single barrel, and you can have some that taste like pencil shavings.
Yeah.
So
it's like-
I think that's a good point. Is like literally most of these things now it's science. like there is nothing. You want this Whiskey Acres?
Please, yes.
So this is the 4-year bourbon.
Yeah, this is a straight bourbon whiskey. What's the proof?
119?
119.1 proof. It was their distiller's reserve. This is just the straight bourbon that they make.
Talking about, like RD1, like all this stuff it's literally science now. Like nobody's throwing noodles at the wall and seeing what sticks. Now, like, and I bring up RD1 again because they are hiring a wood scientist to come on to experiment with some of these finishes with different woods and different blends.
They're hiring Gary?
Oh, jeez.
Gary knows wood.
Here we go.
Gary does know wood.
So, like, I mean, that's the thing is, like, a lot of these places, like RD1 and whiskey, like, everybody is experimenting with whiskey still. But now I say now. It's always been scientific. There's your mash and there's your corn and your grain. Where you get it from matters, like your yeast strain, all your additives, like, it all plays a factor into everything. But I feel like now it's more focused on what, like, most of them have corn, right? Like 99% of them have corn.
Yep.
Everybody is trying to channel like what makes them different from everyone else.
Yeah.
So I have a hard time supporting places that are just starting up because they want to make whiskey. Anybody can go buy a barrel of MGP and do something with it. Like that's fine. That's cool. I'm not knocking that. But anybody can do that. It takes something special to put in the time, the effort, and the money with the family heritage, the lineage, and all this stuff that actually cares about growing the brand and finding something that sets them apart from everyone else. Because right now, like, the market is so flooded with everything. Like, there's so... we saw an article last week that was like, oh, the bourbon boom is over. Like, oh, it's going to slow down. Like, where?
Yeah.
Like, who's slowing down? It's like all these craft distillers are coming out with these new things to do and all these new things with scientists and stuff. Like, they're not slowing down. They're just adapting.
They're not slowing down, but I do think there's been a correction, right? So I think that there's been a correction in the market. So you don't see the craziness that there was, 3 years ago, 2 years ago. But, to your point about the finishing and everything, I mean, you've got to, if you're an NDP, right, you've got a barrel whiskey. Like, what are you going to do with it? You haven't distilled it.
Right.
You haven't controlled anything with it in the rick house. You're really left with what you can do with it with wood. Yeah. And that's, you got to become creative. I mean, Drew Black at Circle City, I mean, some of his finishes that he's doing with the toasted series he's got out, these French oak toasts, I mean, they're great. I mean,
what was his new one? He got a new couple barrels the other day he was dumping into. Do you remember what they were?
I don't know if he's still got French oak he's playing with right now or if he's got something different.
Yeah, he was dumping
just
something
dumped a
in
couple
a new
French
barrel.
Oak. There was something. I want to say it was some wine. I don't remember.
Oh, it's in a wine cask. He's got a wine cask. He's dumping.
It's Pinot Noir, I think.
Okay.
I think he's dumping MGP into it.
He shared two barrels the other day, and it was, I guess, the Pinot barrels, and
I could be wrong.
They were red.
Actually, I'm wrong. It was not Pinot. It was Syrah.
Okay,
that's
it.
That was it.
Was
yes.
Syrah. Yeah.
So, like, I mean, people like him are trying to innovate and do things that are changing the market, I guess. Like,
and that's the thing. They're. I mean, just like we talk about Barrel, we talk about Penelope. They're great blenders. There's a place for all that. There's a place for the blenders, the people that are sourcing and blending and doing all that stuff. It's a different world from distilling, but it's not a bad world. It's a good world. If you're creating good product for people to buy, all about it. But there's a place for both.
So seeing like Bourbon 30 start their own distillate, they've got they're still running now. They've got 2 barrels that are tidied up.
Good.
Yeah. So yeah, we got to dip into that White Dog the other day, and it was pretty good. So
we always
that's
say
cool.
Like one of our like mantras or whatever is this: the White Dog's bad and the distillate is bad, then you can't fix it.
Yeah, no barrel's going to fix
bad. It's going to just
whipping.
travel down the chain. It's still going to be bad. It's still going to be bad.
Still tastes like
it may get better, but
a
little bit. But
so I'm curious if some of these other like blending brands are going to start going into
that's the Mochino.
Okay.
the distillation side of it.
Yeah.
You know, to kind of stay current in the market. You know, are they going to put in the effort, the time, and the money to start their own distillation to experiment with some of these things? And I don't know, like maybe some of them don't have it, you know?
I mean, it's a big investment, man.
It
really
is. It's a huge change. It's a huge investment to switch over from blending and just sourcing your products. Jeremy, last week we talked about Bardstown. The 3 owners from Bardstown are opening up Whiskey House.
Okay.
What was it, Elizabethtown, I think?
Yeah.
They're building this like 100-acre, farm or whatever. Huge place. And they're trying to get into that MGP market where they're just supplying other brands with
Contract
with their
distilling,
juice.
yeah.
So just contract distilling. So I'm curious if other brands are going to try to do this and contract distill for other people, or if they start distilling their own products.
Yeah.
But then stick with doing that. So like, Barrel, they source everything.
Right.
They're blenders.
Isn't a lot of them didn't Buffalo Trace just double their warehouse and production and all that? So I'm sure we'll see
Heaven
that.
Hill,
Yeah.
everybody's doubling down. They're expanding out. So like, I'm curious if some of these other guys like Barrel are going to reach into that distillation market, even though they're known as a blender.
Right.
Just get into the distilling market to have something new to offer. Like, what is it that they can offer that is not already there? Like, when we go someplace, we go to a distillery, we always, everybody has that one thing. Like, everybody says, like, we did this first.
Yeah.
Well, what was the first thing you did?
Yeah.
So, like, there's got to be something. There's got to be something for everybody.
Yeah.
So.
And I think, too, people are hedging their bets on the Eastern market. India is so untapped. India's a single malt Scotch,
I
blended
feel like
Scotch.
this keeps coming up.
Yes.
If I were one of the big 6 and I was in charge of marketing, I would be begging to put millions of dollars into marketing in India.
Yeah.
I'd have people on the ground, feet on the ground. I'd be pushing it because if you got 10% of the whiskey drinkers in India, you're rolling.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too. Like with Buffalo Trace and all these people putting out so much more product, creating more product, all that stuff. They might be doing some contract distilling, but they really don't need to, because you know what? If it doesn't sell here, ship it to freaking Japan and China. They'll buy the shit out of that stuff, because why not?
What was the one that do you remember the one that Jack gave us on the tasting?
From India?
The India one?
Paul John.
Do you remember that one?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever had any Indian whiskey? So
I've had a couple.
That was the only one that I've ever tried, and like, it keeps coming up in our conversations, of
I
Indian
had one,
whiskey. So
Jeff Wilcox from
I think we
got to
get into more
Wine.
Indian
He
stuff.
had some Indian whiskey we tried. It was pretty good
They're
too.
usually like single malts.
Yeah.
For the most part. Some are blended, some are,
but they're higher than Japanese. So like, the Japanese stuff is much lighter. I think the Indian
a lot of that stuff
is a
when you
little
get
higher.
when you get away from the North American continent is more of that single. They're coming after the Irish and the Scotch kind of realm and creating whiskey. It might be a little different, but they definitely stick to that single malt a lot
They're usually
more.
lower proof. They're usually that 80 to 90 proof point.
Yep.
range.
Well, I'd be curious. So, our whole neighborhood is Indian families. And we had the pleasure of going to an Indian wedding at one of our neighbors' houses that we got invited to, just because they're super hospitable. And we go over there, and I didn't know if they drank. I didn't know. I know very little about Indian culture. And they're sitting there, they're cooking tandoori in their garage, and he's got a bottle of Jameson. So I brought over some Lagavulin 16, and I was like thinking I'm doing something special, and they're just pouring solo cups of Jameson. And I'm like, I'm in good company, I guess. So like, I brought them Lagavulin 16. They're just pouring half a solo cup of Lagavulin 16. I'm like, you guys are hardcore. It's like, you guys know what's up. Like, this is it. It's like, that's too powerful for me. Like, I can't do the Lagavulin 16. That one's
I love
way too
Lagavulin
peated.
16.
I can't do it, man.
I love it.
That's a lot. Do you like peated stuff?
I'm more bourbon, man. I'm not.
Okay, I appreciate that, because some of them are just like way too overpowering.
Yeah.
But like have you experienced with Japanese a lot, or?
I've had what is it, Habaki or
Habiki?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've had just that, but that's really about it.
Suntory was good.
Nika, straight from the barrel.
I had that one. That was one I had.
I
at
do like the
exchange.
Kawakatake we got up there. The Ichiros. Ichiros is really great. Japanese whiskey too. We got both of those up here.
So I'm trying to expand out to the markets.
You have to try these and see what you think. Is they're both really good. I think, especially in Indiana, Kentucky, this region, people walk into a bar, they want bourbon.
Yeah.
Or you know what? I'm a little bit more highfalutin.
Situational.
Let's go rye. You know, it's like whatever. Yeah, that's where we live.
Yeah.
So people aren't really jumping into the Irish or the Scotch
And with
as
them being
much.
lower proof too, like, and that's what I
Exactly.
think, like it being in this area, like a lot of people in this area want the higher proof stuff and,
Which that's why I think one of our best selling scotches is the Abunda Alba cast strength Scotch. 118 proof Scotch.
Yeah, Scotch.
It does all the things you want with a Scotch that reminds you of a bourbon.
I haven't tried that one
but
yet.
It's Scotch.
I got to try that one.
Somebody-
I haven't tried that one yet, so I'll have to try that one.
It's good. It's good. Yeah.
So-
Yep.
So
Yeah,
you
that
don't
one
sell
goes.
more proper 12 than anything else?
We do sell a lot of
No.
proper 12 powers. The three I have is proper 12 powers and redbreast 12.
The Redbreast, I will say,
Redbreast
the
is great.
Redbreast
Now I will say
fantastic.
the best redbreast we've ever had here was the redbreast cast string. But again, someone that wants Irish is not typically wanting high proof.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that. So we sold it well, but we drank most of it ourselves. So okay. So distilleries, big six, small ones, whatever. Do you have a favorite distillery?
I mean, honestly, like as far as experience and just walking around the distillery and feeling welcome, I mean, I don't think you can beat Hard Truth, man. I mean, I know it's an Indiana distillery and they have a lot going on, but I mean,
Yep.
the campus or I say campus, but what they have is amazing. I mean, just taking the tour and, of course, again, I've been to Beam, I've been to Four Roses, I've been to Buffalo Trace, I've been to, what are some of the other ones?
You've been to Heaven Hill?
I have not been to Heaven Hill.
Got to go to Heaven Hill.
Okay.
Heaven Hill's an experience too.
Haven't
Yep,
been to
yep.
Heaven Hill. I've been to, let's see, where's some of the other ones? Obviously, Jeff the Creed, we talked about that.
Yeah.
Makers, Willet,
Makers,
Turkey.
Yeah, been to Willet, been to Turkey.
Never
so
been
when
to
I went to Turkey, they were not really giving tours. It was right during the pandemic, so I'd like to go back there and try.
Yeah,
But
they just reopened their gift shop and
they're building a big new gift shop facility, aren't they?
It opened like 2 weeks ago.
It did.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they were still building that. I think whenever we
Yeah.
were down there, and it had
It's open for business now. Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
awesome,
Yep.
awesome. I want to get down there because I've never been to Turkey before.
Oh.
I definitely want to go there,
So-
especially after I never was Wild Turkey 101. I'm like, yeah, that'll get me there. When I first started, that gets you there in a hurry. 101, high proof when you get started, but after Eric Jansen introduced me to the entire freaking Master's Fleet.
Do you like their master collection?
Oh my God,
Yeah.
so good. What was the last one he just
Turkey.
brought? The one.
Voyage or
What was the one he brought from the wedding? He got from the wedding.
I think it was Voyage.
Was it Voyage?
Oh, I don't remember.
That didn't
'cause
sound right. But it was one that
He's got me so many different
His
ones.
crew bought him a bottle. It's like you can't get it. And he
Oh
got-
no, it was Generations.
Generations.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah.
Freaking
It's
great,
really good,
man.
yeah.
And I will tell you,
12's my favorite.
some of the best dusty pours I've had have been some of those old wild turkeys from the 40s and 50s. They're so good,
Yeah.
so good. So I want to definitely check those guys out.
So do you think the dusty market will take over the secondary market? You think once people start tasting how?
Probably not because there's just not enough of it out there.
Well, it's
I don't
going to end up
think.
like classic cars, right? So like,
Yeah.
your classic license plate is 20 years. Like, do you
Well,
remember
'cause-
what car you had 20 years ago? It doesn't seem like it's that old.
Yeah.
So
No.
like,
It's
what's a dusty pour? Is it 10 years? Is it 20
Yeah.
years at this? Like,
Well, because you're
What is
talking
it?
20 years is a classic car now, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
20-year-old whiskey.
2004.
20-year-old whiskey, you can buy a brand new release
Well,
of 20-year-old whiskey.
hey,
So is
Yeah.
2001 release a dusty now? Like, where do we stop the line with dusty?
so my buddy Johnny down in South Carolina, he's a big Wild Turkey drinker, and he still has bottles of the 1990s Austin Nichols 101, and I'm like,
oh man,
dude, do you know how much those things go for? Like,
Yeah.
those are
Well,
pretty
and what I
sought after
found,
bottles.
and you definitely, by getting the old Forester today, what I find is a lot of these guys that have the old Dusties are either selling samples or giving samples away for people to try it. And
Yep.
it's like, that's kind of what I'm seeing more of the Dusties.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing people trying to put them on the market to sell them unless it goes to an auction. You're raising money for
Well,
something. That's great. But
no, you're
Yeah.
proud of that. You're proud of
And-
getting it.
and
exactly.
You got it. You want to share it.
You know,
Hell
you
yeah.
talked about. I feel like Dusties are. on your journey as a bourbon connoisseur, bourbon drinker, bourbon enthusiast, Dusties are part of that journey. Like at some point you've gone, you go through you're in the phase when you're first getting in and you're on the chase and you want to find all the allocated bottles. And then once you realize that, man, there's some like vintage stuff out there that you get to taste. It's a bit of history that we weren't even born when these things were distilled. I think it's amazing.
Original pepper.
It's fun to go back to. I mean, just like regular white label Jim Beam, some of those old ones, they're the old Dusties, and you try it and you're like, oh, this is different. You're like, well, yeah, the water was different. There's less pollutants. They didn't have to filter everything. Sure, it's going to be different.
Becky and I went to Antigua in January, and whiskey, bourbon in Antigua is somewhat limited, but they had Jim Beam Black. And I'm telling you what, like just sitting on the deck at Antigua, sipping a Jim Beam Black neat, I was like, man, this is just takes me back to like the good old days.
Hits right now.
Like,
this is really good.
Well, and I think we go through the phases where we're drinking bougie shit all the time, and that's great. I love that. I think one of the shows we have to do is we have to just grab some of the top 6 old staples, the base model of all those, and just bring them out here and sample them again, because you're gonna pull out that nuttiness out of some of them. You're gonna pull out some different things. It's like, is it our jam daily? No, but we should be appreciating the fact that this is what paved the way for what we've got now.
Yeah. 45 years ago, this was what they
and
were
bottom
selling.
line is, if you're new to bourbon, you should start there, because you can buy those bottles for $15, and you can get into 4 or 5 bottles. You can say, you know what, I really like the Jim Beam profile. I should reach out and start trying more Jim Beam products. It gets you started.
I
but
agree.
we need to find a original Dusty, like a bottle that is actually labeled as medicinal whiskey.
You saw that one that was
did,
out
yeah,
there.
yeah.
What did it say? This is oh God,
it was a medicinal bottle. Like it
looked like a medicine. It looked like a medicine label, and it said
like a cough syrup
it's
bottle.
Something like this is shit whiskey, medicinal. It was like, wow, I want to try that now.
You got a toothache? Don't be a bitch. Drink this.
I mean, seriously, some of these, if you do come across some of these pre-prohibition bottles, you need to really know what you're getting, because they could be the ones that have a lot.
You know where it is in the bottom.
Bad shit in them.
Distillation was different. Like bottling was different. All the regulations were different.
Tobacco
at
spit.
that point.
Blind drinking that stuff back then.
Well, it's like food.
Turpentine.
Now like food processing plants, they allow for like 2% of human flesh in your food or whatever. Like that's a real thing. Like because like you're gonna chop your finger off and it's just going in your.
There's a
chicken
reason
nuggets.
why I
Sorry.
do not eat ketchup to this day, because I saw rat feces and rats rolling around the vat at Red Gold in Elwood as a kindergartner.
Shout out
I
Red
will
Gold.
not touch freak. Yeah, shout out Red Gold. Rat feces are good, buddy.
Shout out rat poo.
Oh my
Yeah, I mean,
gosh.
that's-
I still don't touch ketchup. You know what? I eat the shit out of barbecue sauce. I know it's made the same way. I never saw it made.
It's all suggested, just like bourbon. It's all suggested.
It's all suggestion.
Like
yeah.
it
gets hot enough, it kills all that bacteria.
Exactly.
Right,
So-
exactly. Alcohol kills bacteria.
I'm gonna segue here now that you brought up condiments. I follow Meat Church on. We got to talk about food at some point on this.
Yeah,
Oh, we
podcast.
made it 2 hours before we started
So,
talking about food today. It's a new record.
It's a record.
Matt Pittman, he runs a YouTube channel and a company called Meat Church, and he does a lot of seasonings, but he does a lot of cooking demonstrations on YouTube, all smoking meats and things like that. He was challenged to basically smoke a slab of ribs using nothing but fast food condiments.
Oh,
That was it. That's the only thing he could
how'd
use.
that go?
So he did it. And I think his big winner was that he was Chick-fil-A sauce on the ribs when he smoked them. So he took them out to college
Just
kids
mayonnaise.
on campus and had them. He's literally going out, will you try my ribs? Will you try my ribs? And a lot of people were like, no, no, no. And then all of a sudden a couple of hungry college kids are like, yeah, we'll take a rib.
Yeah.
They're like, oh my God, these are the best freaking ribs we've ever had. And it's like all made with ketchup, mustard, salt and pepper, and Chick-fil-A sauce and
That's
mayonnaise. And
I saw it was either on Facebook or TikTok or something. I saw someone say, here's your Chick-fil-A sauce hack. And it's mayonnaise, or it's not regular mayonnaise. It's Miracle Whip.
Miracle Whip. Based.
Miracle Whip,
Yeah.
Sweet Baby Ray's, and honey. And I put it together, and I'm like, Damn, that's exactly
Chick-fil-A
the same.
sauce.
Exactly the same.
Well, it's like Raising Cane's, like the cane sauce.
Yeah,
Everyone
yeah.
thinks it's super it's just mayonnaise and ketchup. Like,
Yeah,
it's nothing
yeah,
special. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing special about
It doesn't
Raising
take
Cane's.
much,
It's just
no.
chicken. It's just chicken. They got 4 combos. It's all fucking chicken.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
What is this?
What is it?
Try their bread though.
It's just Texas toast,
Hey,
man. Like,
tell them to bob it. That's what they call it. Butter on
Okay.
both sides. It's
I had an interview
At
there.
Cane's?
at Cane's.
Okay.
Yeah. So tell them to bob it, the bread, and they literally it's bob. It just stands for butter on both sides. I guess.
I couldn't do it, man. So I used to work in food service. I was a general manager of a Dairy Queen for like 6
You also
years.
can't do dairy.
I can't do dairy either.
Yeah.
So I had a working interview at Cane's one day as an
Okay.
operation manager, and like part of the interview was just like working the drive-through. So I worked. They were way too chipper for me. I can't do that. Like hippity hoppy, how you doing today? Let's get some chicken.
Mike's
you know,
like at the
Mike's like, here.
at the window going, "Fuck you, Joe Boo."
yeah,
Here's your fucking chicken.
clickety clackety fuck. What do you want? Like I can't do that catchy shit. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not that cheerful, man. I cannot come up with some catchy shit every time somebody comes up. Like
My son is a junior now, going into his junior year at IU. So his freshman year, they put a Cane's in there in Bloomington.
I'm sure they tore it
All
up.
of a sudden, man, I'm looking at my credit card statement, and I see all these freaking Cane's charges at like
$2,500
11:30,
chicken.
12 o'clock at night. I'm like, hey, buddy, what the hell?
You got.
He's like, "I drank a bunch of bourbon, Dad. I had to have some chicken to wash it down."
That's
that or
funny.
he's hitting a lot of vape shops too.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Well, it's like you can see it. It's like scooter charge, Uber scooter, and then Cane's. And then Uber scooter.
See, Scooters has the same thing. They'll tell you to scoot on around when you get your coffee.
Oh,
from
really?
them.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
Yep. Kind of. I mean, it's like going
I
to
mean,
Chick-fil-A. You feel like you're in.
It's
church
not as
service
bad as
almost.
freaking Uranus Fudge Factory
Oh,
over here.
Lord.
Those guys are
Well,
stupid.
those are funny.
Yeah.
I think.
They're funny once, but every time you walk in and they ask you how we're gonna pack your fudge today, I'm like, "Yeah, it was funny first time."
How you want it in the rear?
In the rear,
So
baby.
I just want to say, man, this 601 Greenie with an Ochino finish whiskey
Oh,
Acres
yeah?
is pairing beautifully.
That's
Okay, good.
I really like the Nochino. I'm still on the regular
It
bourbon.
brings a spice out of the Chino finish that
It does.
I don't get on its own.
No,
Yeah, it's really cool. Have you tasted this Nochino
haven't
finish?
tried
that's
Yeah,
it
you
right
need to
there.
do a
You
double
can
taste
grab
of
you
this.
something. Yeah.
Do a pour of that while we're wrapping up.
Yeah,
Rob,
we're
we
wrapping
got
up soon.
so 1502's coming up this Thursday.
Yeah, yeah.
What time is that event?
So that event will be, I believe, 5. It's 5 to 8.
Okay.
We're gonna record with him before. If you want to get in here a little early, that's fine.
Yeah, come hang out. We'll have Enrique
he
on
might
with
stay a
us.
little bit later after that too, but come in and meet Enrique. Enrique is the owner of Global Premium Cigars, which is also that's the parent company to 1502. He is the master blender. He's the owner. He does it all. So get in here. That's a great time to come in and get your box to fill up your humidor because you're getting 20% off the boxes. There'll be some giveaways. We'll have a good time there.
Heck yeah.
Then the following Wednesday,
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Thank you.
2 weeks.
Thank you. 2
So
weeks.
June
Gosh,
1st.
yeah.
June 1st is Mash Bash at
June
Moondrops.
1st. You're
yeah.
right. June 1st, we're going to be over at Moondrops, which is down here in Fortville, 5 minutes from the shop here. They're having Mash Bash, which is just going to be a big event.
Bunch of
They're gonna have
distilleries,
distilleries,
bunch of beer,
breweries,
food,
us.
food trucks.
We're
We'll
gonna
be
be-
there.
we're
We'll
doing
be
a
doing a
live
live
event.
stream from Moondrops. We'll
Yeah.
be talking about that. We'll be going around talking to a couple vendors.
And if you want a couple cigars, we'll have some cigars out there. You can
Yeah.
get that stuff too. But it's really just about hanging out and smoking and
gonna be
drinking.
a lot of
and
fun.
Yeah.
It'll be a great time.
And then the following
And
Wednesday.
then the following Wednesday, which is June 5th. Thank you. We've got Sin Coburn coming. She's the owner of Dissonant Cigars. If you follow her on Instagram and Facebook, you know who she is.
She's badass.
Fantastic, awesome person. We met her out at the trade show. Really, really nice lady. And she makes some great cigars. She makes them through the Oveja Negra line. But they're really great cigars. It's ladies' night. It's not only for ladies, but I am telling you right now, if there's a bunch of ladies here, I'm gonna make sure she's hanging out with the ladies because she's just like Lisa, trying to get the Sisters of the Leaf thing
a
going.
ladies' lady.
And but we will have her here. We'll be doing events with her cigars too. Calvin will be here, so we'll get to hang out with Calvin. Calvin's a great guy too. We really love Calvin.
That'll be great. Yeah,
so
Calvin's a
we'll have
good
that
guy.
going too. So
Yeah, I saw him. He shared that post with Sin on there. So
He did.
He'll be here. So
he did. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'll be sharing that. I'm gonna share this week the 1502 stuff, and then we'll be sharing the Sin stuff coming up too. And it's gonna be a good time. We're gonna have a
Heck
good time with him.
Yeah, don't forget May 24th. this Friday, this week, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., we're live streaming from Lot 6 at IMS.
Yeah, so
Scotty
get on there
D's
live.
compound.
Get on there
Join
live.
us.
Comment on it.
Q&A,
We'll
comments,
try to pay attention
everything.
to. We'll definitely be paying attention to the social media feed. You know, if you have questions about anything, honestly, if you have any questions race related, I guarantee you Scott can answer the questions.
Yeah. Look, the link is up. I've shared the link. It's on the Final Third Cigar Facebook page, Instagram.
It's pinned to the top.
It's pinned to the top.
Yep.
You can go ahead and post a question there. If you have questions about cigars, whiskey, anything, go ahead and post that in there. You can go to YouTube, Final Third Cigar. Go ahead and put a comment in there. If you have a question for us, go ahead and post it in there, and we can answer that live.
And I will say, if you're off that day, which honestly, why wouldn't you take it off?
Right.
I
It's a
mean,
holiday.
Come on, it's a holiday.
We're in Indiana.
Just take it off.
Yeah.
And
come hang out.
Get you a Bloody Mary. Get you a Connecticut cigar. Now, I know it's going to be hard for everyone to have a blood medicine at that point. We might have them by that time. You might be able to come in here and get them on Thursday before that. Just smoke along with us. Have a Bloody Mary and get your day started right.
Oh, it'll be great, man. Jeremy, what do you got? You got any news coming up? Anything with Central Indiana Bourbon?
Honestly, like I said, I mean, I definitely appreciate the invite today. I mean, it kind of opened up my eyes to a lot of different things going on.
Good.
I mean, again, just trying to get the world of bourbon out there to everybody, you know, and let people know, you know, all the great things that's going on, and that we don't have to necessarily go straight down to Kentucky to look for that great bourbon. We've got it right here in our own state. And
exactly.
I mean, definitely appreciate, like I said, the honor being on your guys' podcast this week. So, awesome place. So anybody who is watching this, especially those from the CIBS site, check this place out. There's a lot of bourbon here, a lot of great cigars, especially if you like smoking cigars. Sounds like a new hobby that I'm going to have to get into now after today. So, because it definitely, I mean, you know, just listen to you guys. I mean, it makes the bourbon taste different. I think, you know, it changes your palate up a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean,
the power of suggestion is hard.
It is hard.
It is very hard to sit with a group of people and listen to their thoughts on other things.
Yeah.
But it also opens up your mind to other tasting notes. It may be something that you never thought you would ever taste until somebody else mentions it.
Right.
Like, they're not using flowers in this mash. Like, there's no caramel in there.
Right.
Like, it's a memory of a thought that you, or, you know, something
flavor
of
from
an
your
instance,
past.
flavor
Yes.
from your past. Like,
Yes.
Everyone
that's
tastes
perfect.
everyone tastes differently, and no one's wrong.
No,
on how
right.
they
No.
taste. I mean,
This is
100%.
all subjective. Everything that we talk about, everything we sample, everything we taste, cigars, whiskey, anything. Like, there's no black pepper in the tobacco. Like,
Right.
but it's a memory.
Right.
That you have,
Yeah.
and that's what comes out through sampling cigars and whiskey. Like,
that's definitely a great point. I mean, like I said, I think a lot of people get so lost in what everybody else feels on their palate or taste on their palate instead of just trying to recognize what you taste on your own palate and what you like. And
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think that was probably one of the hardest things for me to get past when I started drinking bourbon. Was like, well, how do they taste all this? I don't taste this, you know. And it just obviously after time and you know, you get what you taste or what you get out of it, and everybody's experience is different. I mean, you may, like you're talking about, you might taste the black pepper, I might taste blackberries, you know, who knows? I mean, it's just everybody's palate's different. And I mean, just I think getting past that was at least being whenever I first became a new bourbon drinker, I mean, just the whole palate, that's what everybody talked about. And I just had to realize that I've got my own palate and I've got my own taste that I taste. And, you know, you can't chase things that everybody else tastes. I mean,
Right.
and, you know,
100%.
just because you taste this doesn't mean that it's wrong. That's how your palate is. So,
exactly.
I mean, I think that's definitely a great point. So,
Yeah.
Well,
it's
with you
crazy.
not being too far from here, we actually had, you know, if you guys want the CIBS group come out here, come out and hang out sometime together, have a meetup out here. It'd be a good time. We'll have a great time with people. Yeah.
It'll be great. All right, Rob, where can they find you?
Find me at Final Third Cigar. And where can they find you?
find us at Central Indiana Bourbon Society on Facebook.
Perfect.
Nice.
You can find me on Instagram at the good old Cocky Wolverine.
Yeah. You can find me at both are visual at Spencer Lee's, and don't forget to follow the Final Third Podcast on Instagram and the Final Third Cigar on YouTube. Podbean is the Final Third Cigar and Whiskey Podcast.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you next time. Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.